The Rap Roundtable.
Yes. Episode 126 of the best hip-hop podcast you ever heard in your life.
That's number one.
Get your ones up.
You dig?
You know what I mean? It's the Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir.
Everybody else out there, you know the vibes. Let me get it up. Let me get it over here.
You niggas walk.
Yeah. Yeah, one more time.
You niggas walk.
Get him, Sam.
A couple more times.
Kick him while he down.
Niggas walk.
We number one, bro. Don't ever get it twisted.
Never.
Now, you'll notice that is just me solo on this sofa today.
Look comfy, bro.
Got the brothers,
Yes, sir.
Deanie, Mase in the building.
Shout out to Jarvie.
You know what I mean?
The GOAT.
Jarvie's out there somewhere in some island somewhere. I don't even know what
Vacation.
island.
Hardest
It doesn't matter.
man
It's
in
an
show
island
business.
somewhere. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
look,
Island works.
real quick,
Tropics.
while he's not here, I'm going to give him his flowers because that's
Cook,
the
man.
Cook, bro.
hardest working man that I know.
Yo.
You know what I mean?
He
Always
work.
on point,
Holding
man.
everything down.
Grinding.
You know what I mean? Always grinding.
Facts.
If it's a gig, if it's family, if it's the pod, like he always holds everything down. That's like if anybody deserves a vacation right now, brother.
It's Jarvie.
Job absolutely 100%.
Enjoy that, my guy.
Vacation, man.
Flights.
That's a
Now,
worker
by the time
there,
y'all
boy.
see this, he'll be back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, we're episode 126.
126, bro.
26.
Ooh, we are
Oh, wow.
up there. You know what I mean? All right, let me go through this intro. I gotta hit all the spots that Job
Cook,
hits.
cook.
You know what I mean?
Pause. You starting early, Sin.
You know what I mean? You gotta hit the subscribe button,
Do that.
hit the notification bell, make sure that when we drop, YouTube notifies you. You know how YouTube tends to do. You know what I mean? The algorithm gets shaky a little bit.
Talk.
You know what I mean? And so in order to ensure that you have the best chance of knowing when we drop, as soon as we drop, don't just hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit that notification bell if you have not done so.
That's a fact.
As usual, we need 500 plus likes
Five of them
on
things.
all of our videos, the lives, the in studios, everything. Anything that you see coming from the Rap Roundtable, at least 500 likes or more.
Need that.
We need all
Cook 'em,
that.
Sin.
You know what I mean? You see my brothers over here, what they got on,
Whoa.
show that off.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
Cloth certified.
Clearly in multiple
Rap
sizes.
Roundtable.
Yes, more
Clearly.
Yeah.
clearly in multiple sizes, multiple flavors and colors. You know what I mean? We got the tees coming on the way. We got the hat
Yes, sir.
still on deck.
Shout out
you know
to
what I mean?
BTG.
I'm slacking. I didn't wear the gear today, man.
Yeah,
But I knew
I
y'all was gonna be
Sin,
on
you
point.
kinda
Y'all always
too
on
fly
point.
today,
big Brooklyn
man.
You know what I
ain't
mean?
gonna
I'm
lie,
big
man.
Brooklyn because
Yes,
we
sir.
repping Brooklyn. We got a Brooklyn brother in the house today. We're gonna,
Sir.
you know what I mean? We're gonna chop it up with him a
Special
little
guest
bit
for
later.
y'all. Yep.
You know what I mean? So, but the merch is on the way. The site is coming. Just, you sit tight
Stay tuned.
and wait on that. Introduction of ourselves. You know what I mean? Sincere the Rap Snob, along with
Deanie the Balance.
Deanie
May
the
force
Balance.
be with you.
the homie Mase, the voice of everything.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? You catch the Rap Roundtable on Apple Podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and probably at your mama house. Because
Uh-oh.
she kind of cute. You know what I mean?
Draws and the hamper vibes.
You know how it go. The beat you hear in the background, you know all that. You know who that is.
Sincere the Rap Snob.
That's
man.
me.
He
So
make
all
beats.
day, every day.
Yes,
I
sir.
make beats.
Holla
Holla at
at
me.
him, man.
Follow him, bro. Since
You know what I mean?
beats, you heard?
And let me drop Jar's favorite drop right here.
We miss you.
Tonight's entertainment.
Let me drop it
Sir.
again.
We are tonight's entertainment.
You know what I mean? Because we're gonna be twice as entertaining tonight. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I gotta drop it twice. You know what I
Jarvie.
mean, fellas,
What's the word?
we're about halfway through the year, man.
Yes, sir.
Sheesh.
Halftime.
You know what I mean? It's
Time
late June. It's officially summer.
Yes, sir.
I mean, almost July. Before we get into some of the topics today, how we feel about this year so far?
What you got to say,
Mace, how you feel,
About
man?
the year in hip hop so far, I think the battle from last year is still feeling its effects, not only
Right?
in the music, right? Obviously, it seems like a lot of people for like the first quarter year weren't even wanting to drop. You know what I'm saying? So you got that. You got a lot of anticipation about, what the Clips might do. You know what I'm saying? What Nas and Primo are gonna do. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Will there be a J album? You know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen with Iceman? You know, there's a lot of anticipation about what's coming. But I feel like it's been a light year. If you ask me, it's been a little bit of a light year. No disrespect.
Light year.
Light year.
Yeah. Buzz.
All right. What about you, Dean?
I like that. It's a year almost. Actually, a little more than a year from the pop out and the aftermath of that, as Mase just mentioned. I think a lot of people are warming up, man. I think a lot of people had to get past the whole Kendrick, Drake, fever that was going on that infected the whole culture. Everybody was tuned
Infected
in.
is the right word.
Yo,
bro.
it was inescapable, man. If you had 2 eyes and 2 ears, you were logged in. I think artists now are like, this ship is moving a little past. Kendrick is well into his celebration, his victory lap.
Yeah.
Drake is supposedly prepping for his new supposed victory lap. And I think people now.
Hold on. Rewind a second.
I mean, come on, bro. Like, we're not gonna act like it's
Drake,
not gonna
Drake
do
victory
it.
lap.
It's
They're gonna cook me for you calling it
when
a
the
victory
album
lap.
drops and everyone tunes in, it'll be a victory lap. We're not gonna act like it ain't gonna do like 350, 400 when it first drops.
Maybe for me, Chubbs and 40, but I don't know. We'll see.
Litigation or not, we know how this joint works.
Me and Act gonna be going crazy.
What's the victory part of the victory lap?
The victory
Shouts
part
to Maul.
is getting back in position. He's not in position right now. He's kind of just out the way. Granted,
Yeah.
the numbers are numbering.
Yeah.
He's still charting
Speak
and all
on
that
that.
shit.
Okay.
But
Speak on
like,
that.
if you still getting
Are
paid, but you
the
can't
new
walk in
numbers
the room,
numbering, or is that from old?
Those are old
the
numbers.
back catalog.
Those
I
are old
haven't done the
numbers. But I'm
research. I can't
sure
tell
the
you.
baby
Oh,
girl is still doing what it's
Mace
doing.
hasn't done the research. Mace the
Mace
number
hasn't done
one
the research.
researcher
If Mace
in
ain't
the
do it,
game.
nobody did it.
Some things you don't want to see.
No, I think more mainstream artists are gonna drop. I think more underground artists are like finally like the world is ready for real raps again. Like the mainstream's open, the
Dean,
lane is open.
Real quick,
What's up?
because I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not to, because I want to hear what Sin got to say about the year too. But that, right?
Mhm.
I've seen that a lot recently. The whole, with Kendrick or what he's done, with the Clips, seemingly what they're about to do. A lot of people saying real raps back. We have somebody today that's been putting in work.
That's a
The
fact.
whole over underground been putting in work.
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean? So let's temper that like statement. That's like a generic statement a lot of people throw out there. Oh, rap is back. A lot of niggas been rapping. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think
A lot of niggas.
those are those few chosen individuals, but the game has been lacking over the last few years, and those guys have been rapping at high levels. But I'm talking about the general rap position is kind of like, it was melodic. It was very melodic. It wasn't bar focused like it. I feel like a lot of people, and granted, this has been out here for the last 1,000 years, but now people just feel like it's back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like rapping at a high level is like cool again, and I'm really here for that.
And as far as the mainstream is concerned,
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, here we go.
We got one person to thank for that.
Your boy.
My boy,
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
And you can
He
tell
did
us
that.
how you think the
Thankful.
year is going.
Well,
we kind
I
of
mean,
know.
I don't disagree with you guys. Like it has. I feel like the first half has been a little bit slow. Shouts to Mase in terms of like the anticipation has been there like all year. You know what I mean? Because we keep hearing about Nas and Primo supposed to drop. This Clips album finally has got a
Yes.
date.
Man.
You know what I mean? So
Excited.
like
Talk about
we're
it.
actually gonna get it in a few weeks. But it up till now it almost felt like the Chronic. You know what I mean? When's that shit gonna drop?
Detox.
I'm sorry, Detox. You're right.
Took so long he forgot it.
You know what I mean? People are still talking about J. Cole the Fall Off. That's supposed to drop at some point. Who knows?
Right.
It's a lot of anticipation. Now Drake has what's the
Iceman.
name? Iceman. I was about to call it
Iceman
Glass
cometh.
Man because
Pause.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, fragility.
Breaks easily. You know what I mean? Very fragile.
Shout out
Chili.
to Bobby Drake,
You know what I mean? But Iceman, you know what I mean? That's supposed to drop sometimes. But again, it's all anticipation. Like,
Yeah.
where are the actual projects? I got something to say later on about the Clips project that's coming up in a few weeks.
Word.
But I'm gonna save that for later. But at least we got a date on that. You know what I mean? As far as the rest of it, in the mainstream space, I feel like we're still very much stuck in Kendrick versus Drake mode. It is slowly dying down, but there's so much gravity behind their names that like if there's a new clip of Kendrick on tour, you know what I mean? That's gonna be all over the timelines. You know what I mean? I can't tell you how many times I've seen the clip of Kendrick receiving flowers from his fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's gonna dominate the timeline. Drake, anytime that if he posts something on IG, is gonna be on the timeline. You know what I mean?
Something about his gambling. Tip.
And then as soon as one of them hits the timeline, it's gonna be a back and forth.
Chaos.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be debates. It's gonna be arguments. So we're still very much stuck in the aftermath of all that. You know, of that entire situation. There's a lot of when you get a fire that big, the smoke is gonna take a long time to dissipate. I think we're still kind of moving through that smoke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully because I don't mind talking about it. You know, it's been over a year, but there's still layers to
It wasn't
dig through. You know what I mean? There's still layers to peel back.
This wasn't like two regular guys just rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
This was like the guy of the time and the guy who was on his way to be the guy of the time. You know, this was literally like the fight of a lifetime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Niggas still talk about the bridge is over, bro.
Yo,
Bridge is
give me
over. They
his
still
day.
talk Jay-Z and Nas.
Yeah, bro.
There you
You
go.
know what I mean? They still talk Biggie
Chat
and
it
Pac.
up.
It's just gonna be one of those. You know what I mean?
This might be a lifelong joint. I truly think it is.
Yeah.
it
We've
is.
never
It
seen
is.
we've never
It
seen
is.
something so grandiose. We never got multiple diss records, Grammy diss records. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's a lot.
We need
1 billion 10 times platinum disses. Like we just never
Right.
seen shit like this. This is like
Crazy.
unprecedented
it
shit.
is.
Yeah.
Wow.
That boy did that.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, Kenny.
Cap.
Unfortunately.
Speaking on Kenny, well, depending on who you talk to, but obviously,
Yeah.
OVO Mase, he's not gonna be
Sick
sad
over
about
here,
that.
man.
It's been a year plus, man.
The IV.
How you living through all this, man?
Listen, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Pook is
Am I
calling
reincarnated?
me.
Shouts to Kendrick. You know what I mean?
Pookie.
Oh,
How
man.
do you get beat up for 80 straight weeks?
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
Yo.
I got beat up more than Drake.
But
That's crazy.
while on the topic of Kendrick, this is gonna bring us to our first topic, our first official topic of the night. Kendrick Lamar. A generational artist.
Yeah.
We can all agree on that, right?
Yes.
Seemingly
Mace?
the newest GOAT candidate. If you look at the socials.
Yeah. A lot of people. Shouts to the company man. Company
Salute.
man is out there,
Just
crowning him as the
Listen,
GOAT. You know what I mean? That's a conversation we'll need to have
resume
at
is
some
getting
point.
better by the day. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
every
But-
show, every performance, every record broken. Like it's,
Yeah.
it's,
Come on.
it's not easy to argue.
Come on.
man.
The victory lap keeps lapping. The records keep breaking. His stature in the game keeps rising. But I have a question for y'all.
Yeah.
Would Kendrick Lamar have been this Kendrick Lamar, regardless, or was it partly due to TDE? Like, if Kendrick Lamar didn't have TDE, would he still be Dot? Would he still be Kendrick, the GOAT candidate? Who wants to take this? Y'all mad quiet over there.
Yo,
Maze, I'm coming to Maze first.
Yeah, I'm thinking like,
Listen, very good question. I'm gonna say no. I know they're not. I know they're not shocked by my
Oh,
answer,
shit.
but I'm gonna have to say no. He wouldn't be right.
What you mean?
No, 'cause-
what do you mean by that? I don't have that.
Kendrick
vibe.
would still be the MC that Kendrick is, right? We got to talk about that. Although, if you watch the Curtis King Punch interview, he talks about, in their early years, the sparring that they used to do, the sharpening that they used to do for each other. Pause. You know what I'm saying? The just it's,
You didn't
it's,
say swords.
right.
You didn't say swords.
I tried, but
Not like me some time ago. I don't know what was wrong with me that
sent
night.
it
Rude,
that,
bro.
so I didn't have to go through that. But listen, he would still be the MC that Kendrick is, right? But I just, I like to bet on the odds of things, right? I like to just, I like to if things have gone a certain way, I need it to be proved wrong for it to be the other way, right? And when I looked at every rapper ever, you know what I'm saying? The large majority needed that strong team. I'm talking about top tier. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z with Rockefeller, right? Biggie with Bad Boy, right?
True.
Like I'm talking about Hall of Fame players with Hall of Fame teams and Hall of Fame coaches as well. You know what I'm saying? Perfect example, Tupac. Look at Tupac's career pre-death row to when he got with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Instant classics. The best part of his career. Like, to me, I just look at it and I say, even modern guys, Drake is directly attached to Lil Wayne. J. Cole's directly attached to Rock Nation. You know what I mean? Which is, the modern Rockefeller, I guess you can call it, as far as, naming sake at least. Like, I just think about it, and it's seemingly almost every artist, Kanye, 50 Cent, it's seemingly every modern artist, because I'm not talking about like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane, who knows where they were signed to, you know what I mean? But modern artists, it seems like you need, it's like, you look at the NBA, right? Half the niggas on the Hall of Fame list are Lakers or Celtics, you know what I mean? Like, that team is very important, you know what I mean? For the structure, for the production direction that you're doing, the having other MCs around you, so niggas just don't feel like they could test you. If I diss him, it's gonna be him, and him dissing me. You know what I'm saying? So, although Kendrick is he still would have been a great MC, because his mind is his mind. He always was going to be there, right? His experiences were his experiences. So he's always gonna get the ADHDs. You know what I'm saying? We was always gonna get those type of shits. But the career path, the way things have gone. You know what I mean? Even the battle, right? And he's seemingly away from them. PG Lang and TDE are two different entities. But when the battle happened, we all seen all the TDE niggas popped out. All of them rep. You know what I mean? Whether it was Punch, whether it was the other MCs, we seen the pop out show. Like, to me, the team is needed. You know what I mean? You could go out and be Charles Barkley, go out and be Allen Iverson, you go out and be Karl Malone. But, to me, if you want to be all time, you need that team with you, for sure.
Copy. Some points were made there.
Definitely.
Danny?
I agree. It's not to say he wouldn't be a star. He would have had make it. Like, talent is talent. You gonna hit a nigga rap and be like, that kid is good. But I like he said, like, rapping around the likes of J-Rock, Ab Soul, Schoolboy Q. Shit, even Punch got bars when he wanna rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, sharpening the steel, like Black Hippie. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that talent.
That was almost a hey.
You see,
almost a hey. My fingers right there,
but
bro.
I'm pause. That was a hey. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
You're right. I'm a hey myself.
You know what I'm saying? I was maneuvering, but like, you can't say who someone would be when you take them out of that element. Like, I feel like every day, every second you live on Earth is kind of like building you to be who you need to be to get to that next level. So who knows? Maybe like he was signed to TDE, I think 07. And then the Dre deal shit happened in like 2011, 2012. Man. So who's to say Dre couldn't have heard him some other point? Especially with the West Coast being a musical fucking, like smorgasbord that it is, with all the different types of sounds and flavors. Like, I'm sure he probably would have heard him in some kind of crossing. Right. They're in the town. This doesn't it's not like he's over here. He's in the town. Dre might have heard him. Somebody might have played him. Be like, who's that? Well, that's Kendrick Lamar. Also, I think maybe, because Kendrick Lamar is so versatile, he might have not even been as rappy if he wasn't with a TDE. He might have been even more like melodic, and I don't mean like on like Gunner type melodic. I mean like harmonizing more deeper records, as far as like even more Black Power type shit. You get what I'm saying? It would have been even more culture. I feel like TDE still has a like, we got to keep at least hood though, my nigga. Like, it's TDE, right. It's the West Coast. But I feel like he would have like, who knows? He could have been like one of them super eclectic type stars. You know what I'm saying? He could have been making music with Steve Aoki type shit. Like, he's that good.
All right. So what you're telling me is, if not for TDE, Kendrick Lamar would have been Mos Def?
I think the range is higher than Mos Def though.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, Mos Def can sing, but Kendrick is. I'm trying to say this. All right, so Mos Def is not for the dense listener. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying Kendrick is either. He can make music to get the crowd going, but Mos Def is just like bars. Like, his most sonically pleasing song to the world is what, Miss Fat Booty? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Which is still a barred up song. Yeah. Like, I just think Kendrick could have made party tunes if he wanted to. Kendrick could have made
more vibe,
more hymns if he wanted to. He could have went to the semi R&B bag. Like, he's really talented. He could have did all those things. So I think he would have somehow still been discovered. But the way TDE just formatted everything, the skills of the other artists, the position of those dudes to maneuver things the way they did, the reach with Dr. Dre. I'm sure Top Dog was a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, it just absolutely. Nah, I think that's vital. Like, I don't know what would my podcast be if I wasn't Rap Roundtable? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know.
Nothing wrong with it.
You never know, man. A good team around you, niggas that work together, niggas that build. I think that puts you in like a way different position that you could be if you were doing it Dolly.
I feel you.
Or somewhere else that's not the same.
They waiting to hear what you got to say about
Yeah,
this.
that's your man's.
Kendrick Lamar would have been great regardless.
Okay.
Wherever he landed, he would be great. But I do believe that there is such a thing as destiny in a certain sense. And I think Kendrick was destined to find that team and to connect with that team to get the Kendrick Lamar that we have. I think, like my mind be wandering all over the place sometimes. And I think about like, different timelines and like the decisions that we make on a daily basis and how something, the butterfly effect, how something I did like 20 years ago would have, impacted my life today as innocuous as you might think it might have been. I could have wound up in a completely different place today just because of like that one random thing. You know what I mean? And so with Kendrick Lamar, like as great as he is, the fact that he landed with the team that he landed with, that he could, and that's not by chance. That's like, it's frequencies. You know what I mean? Like he was drawn to Schoolboy Q and Ab-Soul and Punch,
J-Rock.
like, and J-Rock. He was drawn to all of them. You know what I mean? And when you find your people, you know what I mean? It nourishes you. And it allows you to be the best version of yourself that you could possibly be.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? And so, Kendrick Lamar, the skill sets, the talent, the drive, the gifts, they're all there. But if he, Mase mentioned Biggie. If Biggie were not on Bad Boy, what version of Biggie would we have gotten? And
hardcore, like,
you know what I mean? He Puff had to tell him, yo, you don't want to be Black Moon. You don't want to be, you know what I mean? Boot camp. Not that there's anything wrong with boot camp. Like, we love boot camp.
Bars. Yeah.
But Puff was like, yo,
Smooth,
if you
like
want to
smooth,
break
man.
through, you got to make this type of song. You got to have this type of vibe. You got to be
Player.
You got to have the Riz. You know what I mean?
Shout
It
out
wasn't
to the
saying Riz
youngins.
back then, but like
Shout
today,
out to the youngins.
you know what I mean? You got to have all that. You got to have like, that whole package. Pause. I'm going to hate myself.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I believe with Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? Like, and that's for any artist. Like, this myth that like people, and I'm not saying that anyone in specific is saying this, but I do hear it all the time. People saying, oh, I made it on my own. I got it out the mud. I pulled myself up by the bootstraps and I did it all myself. Like, nobody gets anything done by themselves. You know what I mean? They got to have at least a partner. We haven't even talked about Dave Free. Dave Free, I think, is the most integral part of where Kendrick Lamar has
TDE at the time.
has risen to. That and having that one like-minded person that you can bounce ideas with back and forth, with no judgments, no precursors, no pretenses, nothing. It's just, you know what I mean? It's just real camaraderie, real brotherhood. You know what I mean? I think that's the most important part of it all, of where Kendrick has ended up today, is having Dave Free along with the TDE team behind him. And I don't think it's, like a lot of times we think of things like, I think Mase had mentioned something about, having the name of the clique to also carry you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think with TDE and Kendrick, I think it's less about the name of the team. When you think about TDE, and we could talk about it. Like, when you think TDE, you don't think Rockefeller. Like, you don't think that kind of clique, right? You don't think Young Money. You don't think, Death Row.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, these labels, these cliques, they were their own entity. It was almost like, they formed like Voltron. You know what I mean? And they ran around like one entity.
Yeah.
And they shouted those names out all the time in the songs. You know what I mean? It's The Rock. You know what I mean? Death Row, all of them. You don't really as tight as you feel like the TDE guys are. What's a song that they shouted out?
Yeah,
TDE.
You got a point.
You know what I mean?
You got a point.
So it's like that even that in and of itself is so different from like all the other clicks and labels in the rest of the game. So
like everybody else runs around like a gang, they run around like a secret society. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I get what you're saying.
And I think to that end, TDE was exactly the home that
Absol
Kendrick
does a lot
needed.
of group shouts that I think about it. He does a lot.
He does.
Yeah.
You're right. He does. But yeah, to that end, I think this is exactly the home that Kendrick needed because that's how Kendrick likes to move. You know what I mean?
And to even support Sin's point, like that the Dave Free point was an excellent one. You know what I mean? Because it's not just the people you see, right? It's the people you don't see. And the biggest example of that right now is Lil Wayne, right? Like, we know Cortez is not around. We know Mac Main's not around. We know Birdman's not around. You know what I mean? There's no Drake. There's no Nicki. Like the team, right?
Yeah.
So that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, man.
We watching what a great looks like when the team is not there to support him.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch, man.
Yeah, it is.
Hard to watch. Anyway, moving on. Let's move on to the next topic now.
Yep.
From one all-time great to
sir.
another one.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Nas has been kind of in the news recently.
Yeah.
For
All over.
no fault of his own, just because his name
Yeah.
keeps getting brought up by a certain somebody.
And he's making major moves. You know?
Well, I mean,
Facts.
yeah, but in turn, he's making major moves. Like we talked about, on Monday we talked about one of those major moves by
Yes,
Nas,
sir.
right? And
Yes,
we were in
sir.
attendance
Yes, sir.
for that event.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? That was an incredible night.
Live
Shouts to
shit.
Nas, shouts to Mass Appeal, shouts to Coach, Rome, and everybody in the
Shout out to
culture.
Social Misfit.
That was amazing.
Bad influence.
Yes,
the
sir.
whole
Yeah.
family.
The behind the scenes stories are better than the ones y'all heard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, apparently Nas's name keeps coming up in Jim Jones interviews. Like, why is that?
Jomo.
Why
Off
can't?
with the
How come Jim
Kofi?
Jones can't stop talking about Nas? I don't understand
Wow.
it. Somebody fill me in. What's going on? Pause. That was crazy. I
Yeah,
gotta
that was
chill.
Listen.
today, bro.
Sin is right.
I
Right
gotta
now,
relax.
Jim Jones, it's Nas, it's Styles P, it's everybody right now. But Jim Jones, basically what came out, there was like a clip that came out, and forgive me for not remembering the platform, but there was a clip that came out where a guy was talking to, a young bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be, not say nothing too crazy.
You can't say
To
those
one of
two
the
letters.
young guys, you know what I'm saying?
Those two letters, like you can't say that.
I feel like it's disrespectful. You know what I mean?
All
I've been a YN. But they were speaking to the young brother, and he was speaking about how Nas compared to Jim Jones. Very random. I don't remember how these two. I think they might have brought it up themselves, but the youngin was talking about how balling mean more to women than one mic, and Jimmy is the person that's been relevant as he's moved through life, the fashion influence, the maybe the gang ties. I made a mention of that before. I remember Jim is like one of the first rappers that was really repping that crazy.
set,
you know what I'm
man.
saying? Like jail shit though. So he spoke about that, and then Jimmy got on the Joe and Jada podcast, underrated podcast. I thought it was gonna be a terrible podcast, but I like the Joe and Jada
Shout out to them
podcast.
guys.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's gotten better.
It's gotten better.
Good
like
Lord. The
Joe and
Lord's coming
Jada, they're
around.
too entertaining.
And I think it's because Jada Kiss has become more
Talkative.
more
he didn't
talkative,
seem like he
a
wanted to
little
be
more
there at
open. Yeah.
first, right? Joe's clearly the A mic, Jada's the B mic, but it works. I like it. But he this was he was on Joe and Jada, and he continued what he had, what the youngin was saying, basically saying how Nas was inspirational to him when he was a youngin, but he's made his own place. He feel like he's had more Billboard entries than Nas. He feel like he's had more success than Nas, more mainstream appeal than Nas in recent years. You know what I'm saying? He didn't specify the years, but I'm gonna guess post balling. That's up until now, that's kind of Jim's peak artistically. You know what I'm saying? So Jim doing what everybody, you know, you should promote yourself. So I'm not gonna be mad at that. But it was a little wild. It was a little wild. If y'all want me to give my opinion on this, like, listen. I have a couple thoughts. Nas is seemingly like, it's like Kobe, right, in basketball. Whenever somebody wants to drive home their point, it's a Kobe point, right? Like we watched Dwayne Wade just say Kobe in the 2010 finals. I watched the ESPN first take clip, and Tracy McGrady kept bringing up what Kobe did, and Jay Williams kept bringing up what Kobe did. When they want to make their point, they denigrate Kobe to say, hey, he did this. Why can't I do that? You know what I mean? He's almost like the bar. You know what I mean? And Nas is seemingly the same thing in rap. It seems like whenever somebody wants to say, hey, I rap good, I'm better than Nas. Hey, I'm popular, I'm more popular than Nas. You know what I mean? It seems like that's like Nas is like the name that niggas give. Way back to when, you know, we did the video, the infamous video when Simba and old girl was talking about him randomly. Seemed like Nas was the guy that they just decided to diss. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting to me. And even through the disrespect, you got to be able to read between the lines and understand that that's a form of respect. If you're the nigga that they always bring up when they want to prove that they're good, that's a low key form of respect, even if you're not being respectful within the what you're saying.
Context. So
you got that, right? Also, like, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest here. Like, Nas and Jim, and I like Jim Jones, so I hate, you know what I mean? I did not call a Lobby Boys one of my top 5 albums of the year. The year it came out. Like, I was a Lobby Boys fan, bro. I listened to Mano verses to get the Jimmy, bro. So I'm a Jimmy fan. I hate that most of the time I talk about him, it gotta be, you know, shitting on him, you know, but you comparing yourself to Nas, bro, like one of the true GOAT niggas in hip hop history, one of the niggas that inspired everything after him. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim, like this is a nigga who Biggie said should have won Lyricist of the Year. You know what I mean? This is the nigga who Jay said when Illmatic dropped, everything finished. You remember those famous pictures of Tupac in the courtroom with his Walkman on and his headphones? He was listening to Illmatic, bro. Like Nas is you know, is there's icons, right? And then there's something above that. And I feel like Nas is above that, bro. The true golden child of rap. So it feels a little disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even speaking on, you know, people's opinion on Jimmy's artistry and how good he is and how, you know, what he has achieved. I won't even speak about that because I got a feeling that the fellas are going to flame him. So I'm not even going to speak on that specifically, but there has to be some sort of respect when a certain name is spoken. Listen, you know, if they bring up Michael Jordan, is Tyrese Halliburton going to talk about what he did? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's two different rooms, bro. And I feel like there should be some respect because, yes, Jimmy, you are getting, you know, the respect from the youngins now and the appreciation from the youngins now for what you brought to the table. But in 10 years, they might be talking about you like Gramps. You know what I'm saying? So
10 years.
I'm giving you. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, respect the nigga who's in a position that you're gonna be in one day. You know what I mean? Have some, you know, some respect for one of the greatest MCs in hip hop history. So I found it, although, you know, everybody says, yo, you're supposed to think you the best, you're supposed to think you better than everybody. It's a difference between that and kind of going too crazy. You know what I mean? I feel like Jim, as long as he's been in the game, he could have found a way to be more respectful on Nas's name than. And then when you do the research, Jimmy don't have no fucking plaques, bro.
Well, we're gonna get to that.
Go. Y'all ahead.
Oh my God. All right. So first things first, we need to find out what Jimmy's smoking. We need to find out. Next
gas station, maybe?
Next 420.
Most likely.
Next, whatever that shit is, next 420.
That's an inside joke,
Yo,
man.
Yeah, indeed. Next 420, we need whatever Jimmy's smoking. I get it. I do. When you're ascending presence, like, you gotta remember, bro, Jim Jones started off as kind of like almost muscle. You get what I'm saying? Like in the crew, like he was like the soldier. So to go from the soldier to be like rapping and actually competing with your young contemporaries and actually making songs people like and making albums people like, I get it. But I can imagine every time he says, yo, I might be the nicest old nigga doing it, and someone just goes, you know, Nas still rapping. Like that probably burns the soul, because it felt like it was specifically Nas, and it felt like he had this energy or anyone else for it. And you know, Jimmy had his little run-ins with Nas back in the day. I don't know if that's still festering. off with your Kofi, like that era.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Nas, like Mason, Nas is the standard. Like when you think of hip hop in its truest form, its dedication, like the good things about the culture, you think about Nas. You know what I'm saying? It don't seem like capitalism got to him. He's making his money now, which is dope. But back in the days, he seemed like he was anti everything that wasn't specifically hip hop, and that kind of like made him like the Malcolm of the game. You know what I'm saying? So he's garnered a lot of love, countless hits, countless memorable songs. I just thought about when Jimmy said, I was like, okay, let's say I take you at your word, and you have more charts and all this more than Nas, which you don't, because I actually looked it up too. You know what I'm saying?
I had to look it up.
Nowhere
Like,
close.
Billboard.
Nowhere close. This is what happens when niggas do like, yo, Google me, bro. Sometimes you gotta really Google niggas, because niggas will lie to you, bro. Like niggas will
To
tell
your
you some
face,
shit,
bro.
and it will not be true.
Googled you. That was the
Okay, let's say by the grace of God, you did have more like track Billboard placements, bro. Do you have better albums? Are you a better lyricist? Did you change the game in like futuristic ways outside of just being jiggy and being a gang member? You get what I'm saying? I love Jim. I've been fucking with Jim for the longest, bro. But even I can look at him in his face. Like even the rant that he gave Joe and Jada. I was like, if you rehearsed this, whoever was in the room with you should have been like, don't do that. Just don't. This ain't gonna go over well. Even Joe and Jada tried their best to be like, bro, you kind of tweaking. Low key, I was looking at Jada like, you ain't really fucking with me. And so you ain't fucking with Nas. You know what I'm saying? Low key. Like it just.
That had to have felt a little awkward.
I love my Harlem nigga, but that's a Harlem nigga, man. Drinking their own juice.
Joe and Jada are both tight. Like historically,
I love my Harlem niggas, but they be wilding.
Wow.
Historically, they've both been very tight with Nas, especially Jada.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
They were a little bit kind of perturbed by Jimmy's statements, like.
But they had to have seen it
Joe called
coming.
him a beautiful guy.
Like
that's what he called Nas. He's a beautiful guy.
I mean, but yeah, like that. Like Nas has been the cloud, like hanging over a lot of niggas' heads, bro. Every time you want to talk about how good you are, people like, yo, Nas is rapping. Nas made Illmatic. Nas made It Was Written. Like Nas has been like the umbrella of hip hop, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to get past that, all the shit he's done. So, and to this day, he's still making music, and to this day, being like influential, and to this day, still making money, like doing all the things you would want an OG to do in the culture. So I can see how older niggas might feel a little way about that. I get it.
Here's a question. You think he in his heart of hearts believes that, or you think it's just I gotta do something for the socials. I gotta get out there. I gotta get. You know what I mean? You think it's just social media clout?
Pusha T ain't bite. You know what I'm saying? Pusha T said, "I got Travis Scott over you." You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Maybe this.
So does you feel like in a way he maybe represents, the downside of like social media and hip hop?
That's crazy how a nigga like that's 50 years old would be the downside of that, though. You know what I'm saying? It just don't feel right. Like Jimmy's one of the OGs, bro. Like I feel like, and it's weird to hear someone that old. Like I don't want to say old like he's like some ancient nigga. I'm just talking about 50 in hip hop is typically an older dude, kind of like
of course
40 son in the NBA. That's typically an older player,
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, like of all the names you could have used, why use the golden child, bro? Why use the standard? I'm sure you could have dug in the crates and found someone else who's maybe not as accomplished. You know what I'm saying? You could have found somebody. You said Mos Def. Fuck it, Mos Def. We would still have to laugh about it. But Nas, bro, of all niggas.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy, bro.
I think there's a few things at play here. I definitely think Jim Jones is interneting. I think because this is not the first time he said this. You know what I mean?
Jimmy's an internet nigga.
And I feel like to a certain extent, and I don't want to say I feel bad for him, because he's got his lane. He's working his lane.
Jimmy done did his thing.
You know what I mean? He's got he's had culturally relevant songs, classics.
Very,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Hits.
Big icon in the fashion game. Like niggas is dressing today how Jim dressed like 15 years ago.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But it does seem to me that he has hit his ceiling. You know what I mean? And when you put the entire resume together, regardless of like whatever delusion he might have of what he has accomplished, like Billboard wise or plaque wise or whatever, I mean, when you really look at it, it comes up short. It comes up short when compared to a lot of his contemporaries. and a lot of other artists that are his age. And I think, his ego, either he knows he's full of shit and he's just doing it for, for the clicks and the likes and the backlash. Maybe he's, in his villain arc. Shouts to Mase.
Word.
You know what I mean? And honestly, to be real, I hope that that's what it is. But if it's that he actually believes this, then that's pure delusion, absolute 100% delusion. And if he actually believes this, I have to hit him with this.
Get rid of this guy. Like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? And why do we fucking keep acting like he's somebody
I'm sorry.
that we need to fuck with? Get rid of this guy.
Jimmy even said like Nas was the GOAT, if I'm not mistaken. Like
I've heard Jimmy called Nas the GOAT, Big the GOAT, Pac the GOAT, Drake the GOAT. Like Jimmy.
Shit.
But
Jimmy
I think
like Shaq,
I think
bro.
the thing is that he wants to boost his impact and resume to a level that it's just not at.
Yeah, he
You know what I mean? And then he wants to downplay the impact and resume of people that have Nas
achieved so much, bro.
Beyond the classic albums, beyond the plaques, beyond the sales, beyond awards, he had a residency in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Too.
He's played at Carnegie Hall. You know what I mean? Played the entire Illmatic to a live orchestra.
Philharmonic, bro.
You know what I mean? The Philharmonic, he played that too. What else? Sold out MSG.
The impact is just too crazy, bro. Like it's
So-
for it to even be a conversation. Jimmy got what he was trying to do because we're talking about it, but this shit is batshit insane, bro.
So it's like, how do you? And then it comes down to the lies, just the bold-faced lies.
Do your Googles.
And I mean, I got it right here. Hold on, let me dig it up.
Cook 'em.
Cause Nas.
Documents.
Well, no, let me start with Nas. I'll start with Nas. His chart history. Now, somebody's gonna have to tell me what's the difference. It'll be Mase probably. What's the difference between Billboard 200 and Billboard Hot 100? One is for albums, the other one's for singles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Billboard 200, that's the album chart. 6 number ones, 16 top 10, 24 titles.
16 top 10. How many all together?
24.
Jesus
Chart
Christ.
chart history for the Billboard Hot 100. Now, this is if Jimmy had some leg to stand on, it might have been this. It still wasn't this, but this is the one.
This is the one.
I think this is the one
He's had
that
a
he
top
in
5
his
single.
head
Yeah.
is thinking, "Oh, I got him on this.
Right.
I must have more hit singles than Nas." So Nas doesn't have a number 1 Hot 100 single, but he has 2 top 10 hits and 27 overall songs in the Hot 100. Now let's go over to Jimmy. 0 number 1 albums, 3 top 10s, 9 titles overall, compared to 24 of Nas. In the Billboard Hot 100 for singles, also 0 number 1 hits, only 1 top 10 song.
Yeah, it was number 5, I think it was. Was that
One!
Ballin'?
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
Put your ones up again, chat. Put your ones up. He's got 1 song in the top 10. 2 songs in the Hot 100 overall. So what are we talking about here? Where does this delusion come from in his head that he thinks that he has this massive resume of hits? Is it the street? Is it because he resonates in the streets?
Jim said niggas on Google. Fuck
I
it. Let me
looked
just throw it out
for,
there.
I looked for, because I know the Jim hits because, I was outside for him. But when it comes to numerically, it's like, I don't know what he was getting at, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
'cause
After I looked, I was like, what's he talking
That
about?
was the only leg to stand on, and that was a broken leg.
He said, been on Billboard every
Broken leg,
year.
bro. I respect the attempt, man. Like maybe Jimmy, if this is what you wanted, Jimmy, just for the conversation, you won, bro. Like, but that shit is batshit insane, though.
That's
And I just I don't get it, like, at all. And to be clear, we're on again because I know there's gonna be somebody in the chat that's gonna be like, "Oh, why are they talking numbers again? I'm so tired of the numbers." So we're talking numbers because that's the conversation that was
he
brought up.
it up.
Outside of
by
numbers,
Jim
it's
Jones.
not even a conversation again. If it's just
So-
rapping, like
So even I mean,
better talk
if we don't talk, if numbers don't even come up in the conversation, then like there is no conversation.
oh my god,
Nas
Right.
is so much more impactful culturally, album wise, song wise,
Messages,
lyrically,
yeah, like
creativity.
Culturally.
You know what I mean? Rapping stories
every
backwards and
aspect
shit.
of rapping, bro. Like Nas is light years better at.
So that's the only thing that Jimmy can try to bring up for there to be some sort of comparison. But even that, again, I don't know where he pulled these mythical numbers from. Because
Hey, that nigga was high.
that good gas station.
Gas, bro.
Man, chat. Let us know. I haven't addressed the chat today.
Salute to
They
the
probably
chat,
lighting
man.
up.
What the fuck is
Chat,
good?
let us know what you think about this Jim Jones versus Nas thing.
Please, chat.
I mean, I know what
Please.
what motherfuckers are gonna say, but like, you know,
If you're
Just
from
chime in.
Harlem, say it first.
I blame this all on the whole, like, it don't matter what nobody say, you the better one. No, B, niggas is better than you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Ooh.
there's people
Hey,
better.
And the thing
like,
into that
Keon
end,
Doolin can't say I'm better than Kobe.
Here's
he
the thing.
feels like it. You feel me? Like,
to that end, I can believe that
I dig it.
if
But
it's a younger guy coming up,
okay,
there has to be that level of delusion if you're going to make it.
For sure.
facts.
For sure.
But at 50,
No spring chicken.
at fit with
Joe
full
Being generous.
gray
You see a female
beard,
50.
like
he's
imagine
48.
me with my full ass gray beard thinking, you know, I make beats, I'm better than Alchemist. Like,
Better than Primo.
get out of here. Like, who? Come on, get out of here, man. Jim, I'm gonna hit you with this one more time, man,
Get rid of this
I
guy.
rock with you, Jim.
Really long.
because
I still fuck with you, Jim.
Love you, Jim, but
Sheesh.
that shit right
Much
there.
more likely to run into
I
Jim
can't get
Jones
with
in the
that,
streets
bro.
of New York than Nas. I'll give you that. Maybe that's what he meant.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
This is facts.
Shit, we might run into him and have to, you know, answer for what we just
Although-
said.
I love you, Jim.
Although the fellas bumped into Nas before they bumped into Jim Jones.
Ah,
I'll give
it's
that
true
credit.
also.
I'll give
That's
that credit.
crazy.
You know what I mean?
Salute to Esco, man.
All right. Let's hit the end run of this episode before we get to our special guest later
Yes,
on.
sir.
Stick around, everyone. After we wrap up our usual, you know, tail leg
Our
of,
yap
of-
session.
of the episode. You know, we're gonna Mase. You got a segment tonight?
Yes, I do got
Bet.
something to get to tonight.
Bet. So we're gonna get the Mase segment in.
real quick because just like
Quick
you said,
mailbag.
we gotta
Quick
get to
lawn. The lawn
homies.
is just gonna be a repeat because there's nobody else I want to kick off my lawn more than Jim Jones right now. So you know, spoiler alert.
Facts.
I'm kicking Jim Jones off my lawn because get the fuck out of here.
Early.
But yeah, before we get to the tail end, one more topic that has caused quite a bit of controversy in the past,
Yo,
and clearly
to say the least.
clearly we love it. We love the controversy. We love all the commentary that it causes out there. The people that agree and the people that disagree. We love it all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unpopular opinions, part 3.
Part 3.
The trilogy.
You starting it off.
Yeah, I'm going
You starting
first.
this one
Y'all
off.
scared?
This one you starting
Trey
off.
Ball.
Y'all scared?
I'm scared.
Skirt. Cook, nigga.
Bet. All right.
They frightened me.
Bet.
They did
going
get at you
first.
LeBron
last time.
James shit.
I got called everything but a child of God the first time around.
So, first couple of times, you know, the first time, what was my first unpopular opinion? I said Common is the top 5 MC of all time.
Right.
You know, some people agreed, some people thought I was bugging. Then I said something about Kendrick and his
Nas.
discography
Yeah.
compared to Nas and
They
Jay-Z.
hated you.
Oh, man.
I'm staying away from that territory. That was dangerous.
Yo, you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta just walk through the fire,
Don't
man.
hurt me, blood. Don't
You'll
hurt
come out the
me.
other side a better man, a stronger man.
Man.
You know what I mean? Nothing can hurt you.
Sticks and stones, nigga.
Listen,
Shit.
only God can judge me. You know what I mean? My third opinion in this series of unpopular opinions.
Cooks, and we wait.
We got to talk about greatest duos of all time.
Talk about it.
What about it?
I think we've kind of like tiptoed around this conversation. I don't think we fully had like a top 5 or just like listed out who the greatest duos of all time are. we've tiptoed. We've talked about the Mobb Deeps. We've talked about the Outcasts. Shouts to Demi. I even debated Demi on this show.
Classic.
Demi.
Yeah.
Through the streams. We had the Outcast versus Mobb Deep debate. I had Outcast. He had Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? Obviously, that we have other duos like EPMD. You know what I mean? If you count Run DMC, because Run DMC, it was Running DMC was the rappers.
And J&J.
You know what I mean? Jam Master Jay was the DJ. Now, every time that we talk about duos of all time in rap, people are gonna bring up like Gang Stars. You know what I mean? P-Rock and CL Smooth. Mm-hmm. Because they were technically a duo. I want to make it very, very clear right now that when I bring up greatest rapper duos of all time, it is a duo where both members were rappers. You know what I mean? It was only 2 members, so no Run DMC, and both members were rappers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So no Gang Starr, no P-Rock and CL Smooth, none of that. No Eric B and Rakim. That's not what we're talking about. Right. Now, to me, let me get to my take. To me, I think for the longest, for many, many years, the conversation has been Outkast, Mobb Deep, and EPMD somewhere in there. You know what I mean? And I'm here to say today that there's a little caveat, there's an asterisk on here, but depending on how this Clips album is going to deliver, if they deliver on this Clips album and it's a fire album, Clips is going to be the best rapping duo of all time.
You hear that, Dave?
I said it.
I
said it.
I can't say it's unpopular because that's kind of been my stance.
That's unpopular.
When it
The
comes
Clips-
to
When that opinion
niggas
goes to
rapping,
Atlanta, there is
of
unpopular
course,
as fuck.
Atlanta,
Queensbridge too.
I'm talking about as far as 2 niggas rapping. Shout out to Mobb Deep too, but I'm talking about Malice, bro, and Push, my nigga. Like to me,
the Clips.
I salute to you, Sin. You probably gonna get cooked, but I'm gonna tell you.
After July 11th, if they deliver on this album, that's first of all, the 2 first singles,
Crazy.
fire.
Trumpets
Goes crazy. So be it.
Fire.
Oh my gosh! Shouts to Pharrell for that sample flip, man.
Pharrell showed up on this one.
Holy shit!
Showed up on those.
So based on these first 2 singles, it's promising.
Yes.
The hype that's surrounding it. People in the industry are talking about it. You know what I mean? Everybody that was at the listening, they're like, we're in for an amazing project, front to back here. You know what I mean? And so we have to be honest because, and shouts to Jav. Jav's not here today, but I'm gonna make his point for him. We at a certain point, it's 2025, and we kind of have to get out of this mindset where everything that originated in the 90s is just inherently better. You know what I mean? And that there's no dethroning that. You know what I mean? I love Outkast. You know what I mean? They haven't made an album together in 20 years. And Andre is out here playing flutes in the streets.
Pianos now.
And now dropping piano albums with piano strapped to his back. You know what I mean?
Make it make sense.
Shit. Me personally, Mobb Deep.
The flutist.
Flute-matic. You know what I mean? Me personally, Mobb Deep, I words cannot describe the place in my heart that Mobb Deep has.
Facts.
In this hip hop shit. You know what I mean? P, one of the illest pens of all time. One of the illest deliveries of all time. No Havoc, one of the nastiest on the beats. He held his own on the mic, but obviously, you know, P was the shining star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Better
of
producer
that
than a rapper.
Right. But I mean, it's also been 20 some odd years from a Mob album.
We got
you know
quite
what I mean?
a few clips, albums, tapes. Like we got it
Now,
for cheap as a whole series.
When it comes to the Clips, I'm gonna say it. They have 2 classic albums.
Yes.
They have 2 classic albums.
Yes.
Hell Hath No Fury and Lord Willin' the classics.
Lord Willin' and Hell Hath No Fury, both classics. I mean,
Them Re-Up Gang tapes
till the
was
casket
fire
drops.
too.
Classic.
All right, I'm gonna get there. Let me cook, D. Let me cook. Goddamn.
That's my guys, bro. It's my guys.
So till the casket drops, you know, it was cool. It was cool. But you know, Lord Willin', Hell Hath No Fury, phenomenal. And then the We Got It for Cheap, volumes 1
Classic shit.
through
bro.
through 3 or 4?
4.
4.
Shout to
Volumes
Adam.
1 through
Ab
4.
Lava.
Now, obviously, you know, it was a re-up gang with Ab Lava and Sandman.
Yeah.
But I read, so after, I'm going to be honest, after So Be It dropped, I was in full Clips mode. I went back, not just to the albums, I went back to those mixtapes. Holy shit.
Man.
What a mixtape run.
Facts. That was those tapes. I was a teenager in high school when them tapes was dropping. I fully thought that them niggas was Tony Montana.
Bro.
I believed every word.
So we have to, you know what I mean? We have to count that series, that mixtape run for something.
Yeah.
Because if you're a Wayne fan out there, I don't want to hear from you right now because
I don't hear from you later either, to be honest.
As much as the Wayne fan,
keep it a beat.
yo, as much as the Wayne fans always throw out, no, but the mixtapes. So if that's gonna be the rule, all right, Clips, that whole mixtape run is gonna count.
Yeah. Fire.
And now, after being apart for 15 years, these two boys are back at it again.
Thornton Bros.
Pharrell seems to have found a new bag to dig into. You know what I mean? In terms of the production after So Be It. I didn't think Pharrell had a So Be It in him.
Didn't either, bro.
Nah, I didn't.
I didn't think he had that in the bag, bro.
I thought that was over, bro.
So Be It is the thing that made me like, no, this album could be really special.
Bro,
Could be really special. Like,
this shit could be special.
Apologize to Chad.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Say sorry.
So if this album turns out to be something special in 2025, Clips got it. We're gonna crown a new greatest rapping duo of all time, and it's gonna be the brothers Thornton. Clips. That's my take.
Respect it. Makes you think you going?
Listen, man, Flute-matic is crazy, bro. Is the sequel to that It Was Blown?
Yo.
I don't know. But I'll get into my unpopular opinion, bro. I get into my, you know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
Let's just say it, bro. Drake and Kendrick ruined hip hop.
What?
Drake and Kendrick ruined hip hop, bro.
God.
They ruined rap.
What?
Okay? Wow. This battle ruined rap. It ruined hip hop, bro.
Talk to me.
This is why. Seemingly everything since this battle, even more than Jay and Nas, even more than Biggie and Tupac, that everything in hip hop seemingly revolves around this battle. Every single thing. Every podcast I look at is Drake and Kendrick. It's random conspiracy theories, but that's all right? The content creators, hashtag us. We trying to get views, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That wouldn't be enough. But when I look at everything in mainstream hip hop, it's completely attached to Drake and Kendrick. The superb, showing that Joey Badass just showed in this battle, right? It really just traces back to Drake and Kendrick, bro. You know what I mean? The whole, Playboy Cardi was supposed to have his DS2 Future moment this year, right? It just kind of revolved around Kendrick's guest verses. You know what I'm saying? The fucking Clips album, right? The entire rollout is Drake. Or a guy who let Drake rap on his song. You know what I'm saying?
and waiting for the verse.
And waiting for the fucking verse.
That's true, Mace. No cap.
Everybody in hip hop has to mention either Drake or Kendrick for their shit to matter. And it to me, it seems like it's ruined the game. Listen, I know a lot of people.
We were just talking about not too long ago. This is the greatest battle of all time.
It is. Sometimes a great fight fucks up the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But as much as and a lot of people might feel I feel this way because I'm the Drake fan and I gotta defend this bozo every week. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons, but not the complete reason, guys. It's just it seems like everybody who wants their rollout, everybody who wants clout, everybody who wants to get mentioned on the fucking rap roundtable has to talk about Drake or Kendrick. And to me, it seemed like it's completely ruined the game at this point. That people don't even get fucking noticed if Drake and Kendrick are not tied to it. I go online and it's akin to 2-3 years ago watching the fans of Nicki Minaj and Cardi B argue with each other.
Nah, don't do that.
It's
Don't do
affected
that.
the entire game.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Then the other day I saw them
Don't do
arguing
that.
over
Don't do
who
that.
looked better.
Sin.
I saw it. I know you saw it.
Sin.
They was arguing over who's more handsome, nigga. I said, why is this on my fucking algorithm?
He's making sense right now, bro.
So,
This shit is disgusting.
although, I'm going to still
man.
talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still going to, listen to Family Matters when nobody's watching. To me, it seems like this is the bomb that completely blew up everything to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Man.
Don't be mad at me.
All right. I mean, I could dig it to a certain extent, but don't put Nicki and Cardi.
That was heavy.
Listen.
That was heavy.
And more so because of Cardi.
They
'cause
said
it's
Kendrick
like,
looks
who
more
cut-
moisturized. Other teams said, but Drake's taller.
Hold on.
I was like, wow.
His skincare regimen is exceptional.
Wait, was it? Tell me it was a female at least.
Bro. This
behind
game,
these
you
pages, you
You
never
don't
know.
know.
Game.
You never know.
You really don't, bro. In this game,
Wow.
evil world we're living in.
So
That's crazy.
Mase, you sparked the light, man. I'm gonna follow your light. Long story short, my unpopular opinion: when Drake drops this album, he gonna be right back where he was. It's gonna be like no footing was missed. All he has to do is stay clear of the bullshit till around November, December. Trust me, stay clear till it's almost wintertime. Make a couple decent songs, pop out, make a couple decent vibes. Stay out of the duck lip territory. Stay out of the.
That's a lot of ifs.
It's
a lot of ifs.
It's bro. He needs a team, like the right team. If he listen to niggas, stay out the way. Just be the get money nigga that we know you as. You can't really boast around talking crazy no more. All that shit is out the window. I don't want to hear no tough talk. I didn't want to hear tough talk back then. I definitely don't want to hear tough talk right now. I think if he stays clear, keeps his nose clean, hopefully, I don't know, he could be. I don't know what's going on out there. But like,
Watch it.
Hey, I don't know what's going on.
he sues.
Hey, but like keep low, drop a couple of songs to get the ladies in the vibe. Because I look at it like the niggas like you and more like me. He really wasn't.
So baby girl, that wasn't the one to do it.
It's not, bro. I'm talking about him. Like that's more him and what's his name? That was,
Party wasn't on
it
that.
wasn't, but it's a part of that mix. You know what I'm saying? It's when you think of it, you don't think of it as solely a Drake album. It's a part of a.
Not a solely Drake album,
That's
but
what
that
I'm-
one song,
But it's not. It's,
Party was nowhere to be found
it's
on
a
that.
collab album, though. You get what I'm saying? So it's not a true Drake song. I think if he just stays low, keeps quiet, and just does the little things, you know what I'm saying? That just keep an artist relevant so you don't, what's happened to this nigga? Just little things to say, hey, I'm here and I'm chilling. Don't look stressed, look vibe, look composed. I mean, everything else is already like bombs away for you, bro. Like everything's falling, but look good in the chaos around you. You get what I'm saying? Stay clear.
Look good and moisturized.
Pause. But stay clear. Keep your nose clean. Drop a good song here and there to get the girls. You didn't lose the girls, bro. And if once they hear the good sound, they're gonna be right back.
He
on.
lost some of the girls.
Once they hear the
Some.
good vibes, they'll be right back on. It's the niggas like you who would fight the hardest about it, but you don't listen to the nigga anyway. So
I'm
you're
just
not,
saying,
so you're
like,
not really changing nothing.
You gotta watch
I
his
feel-
shoulders when the Drake come on.
You get
I
to really
feel
know their
like-
you
opinion.
done seen it.
The ice grill might be there, but if the shoulders shimmy, I know what the vibe
Simbi's
is.
shoulder shaking in there to the Drakes, bro. Like,
I feel like, this thing with Kendrick, it exposed him to a lot of women who look at him differently now.
you didn't think they said Drake is a sucker? They didn't know Drake was a sucker back to this? This is the thing that made everyone know Drake was a sucker?
What I'm saying is sometimes
A dweeb?
sometimes the sucker and the dweeb has so much juice
Pause.
going with him. Pause.
That's crazy.
But juice.
A
Juice
sucker. And, I don't even want to respond. That whole sentence, bro, just needs to be just eliminated. But proceed to.
Sometimes sometimes they got that motion. Is that better?
That don't help.
Thank you.
That don't help.
So,
They're not
That
good
really
enough.
did. Joe, we
Pause
need
for
you.
no cigar.
all right.
Okay.
Cook.
Anyway, aura.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Bet.
Okay. That's damage.
All right, there we go.
But like,
So
you could win aura back with the ladies though. A lot faster. You could win it with the gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? You know that. Nigga
Yeah,
cheat on their girl every
I'm
day.
just
Come say
saying-
I'm sorry and she be
I'm
right back in the fold. I don't.
I'm just saying.
Like,
I think Kendrick de-aurarized him
the aura. That's crazy.
to a lot of women that can't
I
look at him
agree.
the same.
I
again.
agree.
after that.
But when the shoulder shaking happens, bro, I've seen it.
All right.
I've seen that. Honestly, to be honest, even when he still plays now in spots I go to, people still catching the vibe, bro. Like, that shit is just on the internet. You see what happens in real life. You know, like, the people are still vibing. I'm just saying, if he makes something dope, like, I'm not saying make a Baby Girl Part 2, but if he makes something dope that captures the ears, and it's not, you're not listening to it and thinking, oh, here this nigga trying to be the boss again. I'm talking about it's just free. Like, maybe it's a record for just the ladies, just to catch a vibe. I hate to admit it, but niggas tend to, if niggas see ladies catching the vibe, they automatically tend to catch the vibe because they want to be in the vibe of the ladies. You get what I'm saying? I think that's how Drake really made his giant impact.
Of course.
The ladies went crazy. The guy said, you know what, let me just, this works. You get what I'm saying? A little text message fucking raps, you know?
Yeah.
So I think if he can stay clear.
I believe rap was better when men didn't think about what women were listening to.
Absolutely.
But that's another story.
Absolutely. But that's a part of what killed the game too. But like I said, stay clear, drop some shit, roll out with the whole it's cold outside, the whole Iceman thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, roll out with it properly. And I feel like he could get his footing back, bro. I truly believe so. The people who would shut it down would be the people like you who didn't care anyway. So you wouldn't really stop the motion. I listen to Drake more like in passing. Like, do I go and play Drake albums at will? No, I have a few that I listen to. But the niggas who would really like say, nah, that's bullshit, the niggas who don't really listen anyway, bro. You know what I'm saying? The niggas who listen know, like, yo, a resurgence is possible. You just gotta play the cards right. Niggas have come back from, I don't want to, in fact, let me not say that. I don't know if niggas came back from this. There's been some rough shit going on with him, but niggas have come back from some difficult situations.
Dead, bro. Niggas
You know?
come back from worse.
You know what I'm saying? Perhaps.
Wow. All
Drake
right.
resurgence.
She got bit first. Dean, I'm gonna tell you what. That's quite a popular opinion in the Masito household. So I don't know. I don't know,
His
bro.
opinion is a popular opinion in the Dean household, so I respect it.
You know.
Dean's back in the OVO good graces.
Think about it. You
All
know?
right.
Think about it.
He
Let him
can't
back
walk.
in the
Can
embassy.
he walk
can't-
10 minutes to a Drake concert?
Can he talk greasy? No. But if you want to make like a baby girl type shit, a bop for the ladies, you want to go that route. That route's gonna always work for him. It's just.
But he made the Baby Girl, and it came and went.
Nah, it's still hitting.
You
bro.
can't
Don't do that.
came
Don't do that, bro.
Man, it's the
Don't
highest
do
selling
that,
song
bro.
of the year.
Come on.
Released
I can't go
'Cause
nowhere
that's
and not
the
hear
slick
it, bro.
shit. That's the slick shit. I
See,
admit.
you just did it too. You
I
just
don't
did the
know.
Jim Jones. Google me, bro. You just did.
I don't know.
The same thing.
I'll Google it, but I think
I'm
it kind of
telling you.
came and went. But
Like,
all right.
don't get me wrong, Kendrick's still dominating, but for where Drake is, where you would think he's completely off the board, he's still kind of cooking, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
If you say so. Chat, let us know what you think, man.
Let this nigga be.
You say
This
so.
shit, I don't think so, nigga.
You like it, I love
But you
it.
I
live.
hear you.
You live.
Chat, let us know what you think, man. You
He's
think
being a good
Drake
point
coming
guard.
back?
If he was at the 2 right now, he'd be shooting at us, bro.
Wildin'.
Like,
He would be
being a
wild.
good point guard, just letting us live, bro.
Love it, son.
Let
Appreciate you, son.
us know.
Hooping.
Let us. I'm sure you've already let us know your thoughts on all 3 takes.
Now y'all know, y'all had to know that if the rap round table is getting unpopular with these opinions, that there's no way that your boy Jav was gonna miss out on this. Vacation be damned. I need to be part of this segment. So I'm cutting the line. So say, do what you gotta do, baby. Make sure you get your boy Jav in on this segment right here. Chat, if y'all haven't by now, hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell, lock in with the rap round table. We need 500 likes on each and every video. The like button, 500. The like button is free. Hit that shit. You know what I'm saying? Do that for the rap round table. If you haven't by now, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell, lock in with your guys. Again, vacation be damned. If it's the unpopular opinion segment of the rap round table, I have to be a part of it. The guys can't respond, so chat, it's me and you. And my unpopular opinion is that Pusha T's catalog of songs produced by Kanye West supersedes and exceeds the catalog that Kanye West has with Jay-Z. Yes, that is what I have to say. That's my opinion. I know what y'all gonna say though. It's Takeover, Run This Town, Izzo, Never Change, Poppin' Tags, of course the legendary Guess Who's Back, and I understand Lucifer. I understand. If you're talking about hitting higher mainstream heights, of course, it's Jay-Z. We get it. Encore, I know. I get it. But if we're just talking about a total body of work, song by song, I believe that, in fact, Pusha T is the perfect Kanye West artist. I'm looking at the list here. We got some joints. We got like Dreaming of the Past. Hear Me Clearly. Of course, Diet Coke. If you know, you know. Numbers on the board. You go to So Appalled, which was a feature that had Jay-Z and Pusha T on there. We know the Mercy, Runaway, Nostalgia, New God Flow, so on and so. I could keep going. You know, Santeria, one of my personal favorites. What Would Meek Do? We could continue this list. I think that while they might have more commercial viability with Jay-Z, that Pusha T, in fact, has the best overall body of work when it comes to Kanye West productions. If it's Jay-Z or Pusha T produced by Kanye West, give me Pusha T. Chat, what do y'all think? Let's talk about it.
Let us know. Go to the comments. If you agree, let us know. If you disagree, if you think we wildin', let us know about that too.
Do that.
We love it all. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Tail end of this episode 126.
Yep.
Let's get to Mace's segment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I'll be quick, guys, because, you know, technical difficulties. I just kind of lost half the segment. But,
Oh, shit.
Listen, iPhones, bro. You know what I mean? That's why I used to put pen to paper when I first came. Y'all remember the notes days? The notes days. But let's
Fold
just
it up.
real quick. We'll speak about, because New York is having Summer Jam. This actually, as of recording, it'll probably already have went through. But you know, I gotta still update you on what's going on in the streets of New York, the young crowd, because I am for the young rap. You know what I mean? So although at Summer Jam, you got Jimmy and Friends, he's gonna do his performance. You got Ja Rule and Friends. You got, you know, and when I did the other segment a couple weeks back about the young rappers in New York, people seemed interested. They wanted to know more. They wanted to know what the young people of New York were listening to, because I think we all kind of have similar tastes, so we know what we like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, for the young people. But like I said, Zeddy Will, I mentioned him in the original segment. He's the first name on the fucking, you know what I mean, on the thing. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all was like, who the fuck is that? That's who it is, bro. You got 41 performing. I know Dean fucked with him. A Boogie, who you know almost isn't young rap anymore, but he kind of set the trend for what a lot of the young people in New York are listening to, that melodic sound, you know, with a little bit of the street edge. You maybe have the Don Q on the side, the nice rapper that could bar up if you have to, you know what I mean? Cash Cobain is out there. Honey Baby, I didn't kind of R&B-ish, you know, on the R&B-ish side, but she is also putting in a lot of work, you know, on the young side of NY rap. I know she's associated with my boy from Bag Fuel, who's always screaming. Y'all know who I'm talking about from Bag Fuel, the loud one, not Heineken. Esso. Esso manages her, so I'm expecting her to go far. You got Chow Lee. He's kind of in the same lane as Cash Cobain. You know what I mean? That the sexy drill. You know what I mean? All, you know, them bass lines be sounding the same, but they still be tough, bro. I gotta admit it. You know, if you in the spot, you know, if you got that Deanie mix at the spot, you go and fuck with it. Listen, I do what I does, but you know, just like I say, I don't have too much today, but I wanted to give y'all the update because we just spoke about young rap, and immediately afterwards, New York, we having Summer Jam. We got a lot of these names, so I'll keep you updated. I know we already did the East Coast. I told you I was gonna have a different one next time, but we might get into the young side of the South on the next segment. But Sin Cook, what's the word? Oh no, that's the end of the segment. We
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Oh, okay.
That's
Copy.
it.
I was I lean back.
shit.
Yo.
Sin was about to
just
get comfortable.
cut that, edit that,
Point guards
and
don't
make it
get
smooth.
comfortable, Sin.
Bro, like I was
Lost in the sauce.
He went to the corner. Get back over here, bro. Get to the top of the fucking key, man.
Yo, Mace, you usually cook for longer than that. All right.
The shot clock is reset, man. Here.
Pass off like
What are you
Stockton.
talking about? You know? He's got an offensive board.
Yo, I just looked the other way. The ball
He's on the
sailed out
side
of
of the
bounds,
court.
bro. She's not at the end of the game, man. Like the game's on the line. Come
we
on,
we
man.
up 15 already. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true. All right, here. So we are at Jarv's favorite segment
Oh,
now.
we having a
Mailbag.
We
mailbag.
having a mailbag. You know what I mean? We can't have an episode without a mailbag. Shouts to Jarv, man. He loves
sir.
this segment. We gotta do it in his honor, you know what I mean? So
This is, we have to. This
Yeah.
is real.
So I snipped a couple of comments before recording from our YouTube comment section. Let me dig through some of these real quick. Let me start over here with hold on. Let me get the button ready because his name is Wesley Pipes.
Yo,
Sheesh.
that's crazy.
We've had comments from this gentleman
before,
before, so you know what I mean
He
we're
stole
familiar
that
with the name.
by the way.
Yes,
But every time, man, his
Not
name
really
comes
him.
up. Got to, man. But Wesley, he says this is in regards to our Carter 6 review, and he says
Almost had a Lil Wayne unpopular opinion.
he says us, they already have their bias towards the South. So anytime they have the opportunity to bash the South or a Southern artist, they jump on it like a dog in heat, bro.
Hey, yo,
Wow.
Named Wesley Pipes
That's-
talking about dogs and heat is wild.
Sick fellow.
Bro,
Holy moly.
that's a bit much, man. We can all agree the Carter 6 was trash, but y'all don't have this type of energy when New York legends drop bullshit albums way past their prime.
You talking to the niggas that coined the phrase Slicky Rick?
I just bombed the other day on Slick. You know what I'm saying? So, like, my bad, Slick Rick.
Whoa,
Still love you though, gang.
Yo,
That's crazy though.
That's crazy to me, honestly, because we've absolutely done it. You know what I mean? My first point to that though was since we've been doing this podcast, how many New York rappers or artists in general have dropped an album as bad as the Carter 6?
Talk about
See,
it.
when you add that
From
second part,
as bad as the Carter
part-
6.
yeah.
Not just bad, but as bad as the Carter
As
6.
The Carter 6.
Because he went in the comments and he named Nas Nasir. That wasn't as
Nasir,
bad
is
as
that the
That's the Kanye
That's
album.
the Kanye one.
That was pretty bad.
We had
though.
him.
No, we flamed that album
Recording
though.
in the
Yeah, and
back
we-
of the,
we-
of the
we called it what it was.
SUV.
We flamed that album.
Yeah, we called it what it was. We wasn't fucking with that album.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
when
don't think
Jay
the rap
did the
round table
song-
existed when
When Jay-Z
Nasir
did the
dropped,
song with
right?
D'Angelo, we smoked him
That
too.
was part of the.
I don't think so. It was 2018.
Yeah. If
But I feel like we talked about
We
it at
talked
some
about
point
it, bro. As far as on the
table.
album, like on the echelon of his albums. I just know I remember we cooked that album
We
crazy,
cook.
bro.
We cook. I don't think
Including
there's
Kanye.
nothing that Jay-Z has dropped since this podcast has existed has been praised by the rap round table.
Yeah, that shit with
I was a
D'Angelo
single
was
nigga
cooked.
liking the God did verse.
That's a
You know
fact.
what I mean? Nobody
It
liked
wasn't
the
alone. It
fucking
wasn't alone.
D'Angelo shit.
Nah, that shit was trash.
Wesley also mentioned Busta Rhymes, Blockbuster.
We cooked that.
And I know we absolutely
cooked that.
flame broiled
We have
that
to get
album,
stopped
bro.
from cooking Busta
Bro.
Rhymes. Like,
That nigga needed a
But
fire
then
extinguisher, bro.
the other aspect that bothers me so much about this comment is that it's wrong because we absolutely have talked about New York projects that have come out that have just been plain bad,
gleeful.
and we're honest about it.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Every single time we're honest about it. But second, who has dropped an album that's not just bad, but also whose name is of the stature of a
Right.
Lil Wayne?
Anticipation, name value. That's what I forgot to mention about the Kendrick and Drake. Lil Wayne's whole rollout was, they stole the Super Bowl from me. You know what I mean? So you had all of that fucking shit on the line. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you still flop. Like Sin
Still.
said, like the the setup to the flop is just as essential as the fucking flop.
Exactly.
Itself, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fact, and look, and at the end of the day, like this is the thing that boils me the most is the false equivalencies. You know what I mean? Like you can't just say, Busta Rhymes dropped Blockbuster and it's as big of a flop as the Carter 6, because Busta Rhymes is not as heavily anticipated as
It's the Carter
Wayne,
6, bro.
Right.
It's from a
You know what I
straight-
mean?
from a fucking
For all intents
5
and
albums
purposes,
before.
is a tier A rapper from his region.
Yeah.
Even if you feel like Busta's better than Wayne, Wayne is like his face, his Scarface, his 3000, and it's Wayne, bro. Like as far as tiers in there, where they come from. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not many people that you're gonna be anticipating more than Wayne. That would be like, who's a tier A nigga? That's above Jada, above a lot of niggas in New York.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if Jay-Z came out and dropped some bullshit, we would have to have a whole weekend where
have
we was
to,
like,
bro.
Jay-Z dropped some bullshit. Y'all
That's
like that's
crazy.
oh, hold on. Matter of fact,
what's the word?
the spoken word joint.
That's what we talking
We
about.
cooked
That's
it.
D'Angelo.
We cooked it.
Yeah,
that
we
shit.
blacked on that, bro. Like,
Cooked it.
Come on, man.
We all came through with the.
Come on,
faces,
Wesley.
like,
I know you be watching.
come on, bro.
Anyway,
Change your name too,
on
bro.
to
plagiarism.
Omega Breed 7822.
Omega Breed. Whoa.
That's a decent name. Way better than Wesley. Anyway, Omega says, game raps like Game. So this is in response to us saying that Game raps like a New York rapper.
Right.
Right. Game raps like Game, not a New York rapper. It's like whenever a rapper is lyrical with a great rhythm to their flow, y'all try to take credit for it. Yeah?
This nigga.
Yeah.
They saying we do that.
Yo.
I'm like, maybe we do that.
But what's
How many times has
What's the problem, though?
Game has said he raps like a New York nigga, bro? I'm not listening to none of these online
Listen
niggas,
here,
bro.
man.
Game has
Listen,
said it
look,
himself.
We got to be honest about this. Like when it like if you listen side by side to Game and then any 20 New York rap artists, like high tier
Similarities,
lyricists,
bro.
it's there. The flows, the cadences, all of that.
He
He's
patterned
not
a lot-
rapping.
he
don't
patterned a lot of his
like
shit
I
after
said.
Nas, too.
I was half joking, but I was like, he don't rap like Eazy-E.
You damn sure
He don't rap like Ice Cube.
Damn
He
sure
rap like
don't.
Snoop.
He don't
not
rap like
Pac,
Snoop.
Not Kendrick.
You know
None
what I
of
mean?
these niggas. Like, he's
How
different.
many times he's gonna have Nas as a feature artist?
Bro.
Why? Because he looks up to
He
the
love Nas.
lyricists like
he
Nas.
said it on the album when he said I ripped the packaging off the Dr. Dre joint and the Nas joint, so I stole both. Like,
Right.
come on, bro. Like, Game rap like a New York nigga, bro. Stop
But look,
it.
man, whenever a rapper is lyrical with great rhythm to their flow,
Sign a G Unit.
you're talking about the New York aesthetic. That's what we do. You know what I mean? It originated here. Why y'all always mad that it originated here?
It's like saying that's like if a nigga wear a pair of Timbs. Yes, yes, nigga, New York Timbs. Fuck are we doing? Yes, it.
Oh man. Any other thoughts on that?
Nah,
He good.
you could.
All right. Let's end on a good note. Says R. Jeter, Mesito described Drake's villain arc perfectly. This is in response to that live that we
Appreciate
did.
you.
You know what I mean? Rick Davis Jr. Dash M5V. Okay.
Oh.
Also a fan of Mace's Drake villain arc.
Oh, appreciate ya.
Commentary, you know what I mean?
He was cooking there.
Dwayne Scarborough
Whoa.
said I was cooking. Shouts to you. Mr. D66M sending Mace Cook. Thank you.
Salute.
And I'm gonna end off with G Mel Talk
That's
4979.
my homie. He always showing love.
Yeah, them boys are back in the building. The best pod.
You dig?
Dog, he
goddamn
always show
right.
love.
My God.
You know what I
One of the
mean?
first saying the best part out.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up before our special guest comes on. We have Bub Styles in the cut right now.
Yeah.
He's been waiting rather patiently. Salute to you.
Cold
You know
cut
what I mean?
king.
Go.
We're gonna cook it up with him.
Sir.
You know what I mean? But damn, I don't have. Oh man, this feels wrong. I don't have Jarv to set up the
This
intro
is
for
true.
me.
This is true.
You know what I
You
mean?
gonna set it up?
I'm
Where we
the-
going?
you know,
Where we going down?
Where
We,
we
we
at?
up, we uptown.
Yes,
you know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yeah.
On a nice block. We in Soundview in the Bronx in the beautiful
Matter of
place.
fact, we not uptown.
We not
We
uptown. Where we
not
at?
uptown. Somewhere
We
else,
at-
but not uptown. It could be Brooklyn. It could be
Brooklyn?
Queens. It could
What
be,
part of Brooklyn?
but just
Nah,
not
we-
uptown because
we
I'm
in the
kicking
deep part of
somebody off.
Queens.
That's
Oh,
from.
you
Then we in
Uptown,
the
you
far
know?
part of Queens, man.
Yeah,
Actually, we're in Queensbridge.
there we go.
We're in Queensbridge.
There we are.
40 side of Vernon. That's what
Yes.
we.
Oh shit!
Exactly.
Heard about that place. We're on the 40 side.
That was the whole intro?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, shit.
So we're on the 40 side
40 side of
Vernon.
Vernon. And Sincere is feeling that vibe. We see a lot of leaves on the floor. He got the rake. He needs you to get the fuck off the
Get
lawn,
off
man.
my
Yes,
lawn.
sir.
Ironically enough, that's one of the drops that I don't have on deck.
That's crazy.
But yeah, somebody got to get off my lawn. And I already gave it up earlier. You know what I mean? Pause. Damn. God damn.
Yo.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Whoa.
Wait.
I've been wilding this episode, man. What's wrong with me?
Take the cup away.
Please. But you know, there was I gave the spoiler earlier, and we already talked about it. But you know, coming into tonight's episode, we felt it was important to talk about it as brothers.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? As a
Facts.
collective and discuss it. But I already had it in my mind that Jim Jones needs to get the fuck off my lawn. Because, and not just for the Nas comments, because it's been Nas, it's been Styles P. It's been Pusha T.
Pusha T, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he keeps going at all of these guys that are clearly, one, better lyricists than he is.
Right.
And second, just have a certain
Shit, even Cam.
even Cam too.
Yeah.
But they just have a certain like code about them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's like a certain value system that they have that Jim Jones, I guess, like feels the need to speak up against. You know what I mean? Styles is not, he's not gonna do no clout shit. You know what I mean? He's gonna drop solid projects. He's gonna give you, you know, the lyrical content. He's always gonna be the most conscious one out of the locks. You know the package he's gonna give you. Pause. But you know what he's gonna give you. You know what I mean?
There we go.
Hey.
You know what to expect from a Styles P, and it's always going to be quality. It's always going to be,
Facts.
you know, additive free. You know what I mean? Pure, uncut.
No saccharin.
Thought-provoking.
No high fructose corn syrup. None of that shit. You know what I mean? No yellow number 3. Never.
Flavin.
You know what I mean? Same thing with Nas.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Pusha. You know what I mean? Pusha has made a career out of,
3 of them.
you know what I mean, being one of the illest lyricists in the game and not necessarily playing the industry game or playing the clout game or doing shit for likes or chasing the limelight. You know what I mean? He has his lane, he does what he does, and he does it well. Jim, on the other hand, strikes me as the type of guy that wanted that limelight and just never got it. You know what I mean? So now he's in the lane where, you know, he's got to talk about certain artists that he feels he's better than just because he either has or thinks he has a couple of more hits than those other guys. You know what I mean? And, you know, when it comes to him comparing himself to these artists have a cultural impact and a cultural cachet because of what they do and the quality of material that they deliver without the additives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know why that seems to bother Jim Jones so much, but bro, like, maybe step your game up. You know what I mean? Maybe stop chasing the hits. Maybe stop, you know, looking like, you know, the dudes on the corner, and focus on, you know, making some better quality, more substantive music. You know what I mean? That will stand the test of time. That will have more cultural impact, that will make people like us, people of our ilk, look at you and say, you know what, that verse or that song or that album, like, it stands up there with a Pusha T or Clips, or it stands up there with Gangsta and the Gentleman, or it stands up there with at least a Godson. I'm not even trying to have you strive for an Illmatic or It Was Written. You know what I mean? Maybe at least an I Am, possibly.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? You can't even, I mean,
Should give us a Magic, nigga. Like, give us something. Magic was crazy.
does he even have an Nostradamus? No, I'm on. That's slander.
Whoa.
I'll admit it.
Nostradamus
But
had
nah,
a
man,
couple
like,
of joints though.
look, I you know,
Couple of joints.
Couple songs, man.
I don't know. There's a certain feeling I get from Jim Jones that he feels like he's not living up to when compared to these artists, and he feels the need to talk about them every chance that he gets, man, and try to like boost himself to a level that he's not really at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for that, you got to get off my lawn. Either get off my lawn or come back with something that we could put in that same conversation. You know what I mean? As a Nas, Illmatic, It Was Written, Godson, Stillmatic, as Pusha T, Daytona, or the Clips, Hell Hath No Fury, or Styles P, Gangsta and Gentleman. Give us something like that, man. If not, off my lawn, bro. You gotta get off.
Send out a pen of that up in Harlem.
Get off my lawn.
There we go. Thank
Poor
you.
man version.
Thank you.
Shout out to Sincere, the motherfucking rap snob,
Yes,
giving
sir.
you that lawn work. Shout out to Mase The Voice of the culture, letting you know everything that's going on. Shout out to Jarvie, not here with us, but always here with us.
Yeah.
I'm Dean, the balance of the force. With our powers combined, it's the Rap Roundtable, episode 126. You dig? Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. We got Bub Styles in the motherfucking building,
Yeah.
gang. You heard? We out of here. Stay tuned.
Yes, everyone. Back in the building, back in full effect. As we told you, we got Bub Styles in the building, one of New York's best out right now.
Talk about it.
What's going on, Bubs?
How the fuck are you, man?
I'm chilling,
Well,
man.
I'm happy to be here. Thank God for having me on, man.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Long time
So we're gonna chop it up with Bub for a little while. You know what I mean? Fellas, get your questions ready.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I
Let's
mean?
get it. Let's get it.
Let's get in there, man. Let's start off by just telling us about like your come up in the game. You know what I mean? You're in New York. It's a cutthroat, you know what I mean, kind of city.
Say the least.
You know what I mean? The underground scene is what it is, you know what I mean? Let us know about your come up in the game and how you've gotten to the place where you are right now.
Yeah. Well, it all started in June. Nah. I'm a young man from Brooklyn, New York. Well, once was a young man from Brooklyn, New York. Now a fucking old man from Brooklyn, New York. But you know what I mean? We stay shining. But I mean, rap was always kind of like a thing. I feel like it's the same for all of us. Rap was always a thing that was just, no matter what we do, we can't shake that shit growing up in New York City. You know what I mean? I'm assuming everybody here is from New York City.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I
Born
mean,
and bred.
yeah, I could, you know what I mean? The jargon, I could tell.
Rotten
But,
apple, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, facts. But I mean, it was something I was always around my whole life, you know what I mean? And then I kind of just soaked it up for a long time and started rapping when I was like probably like 22, like late, really.
Okay.
Because you know, everybody's in the lunchroom.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody got those stories, every fucking
Yeah,
rapper,
exactly.
especially in New York, got those stories. Yo, I was coming out the womb spitting 16. Like, nah, that wasn't me. I was always around it, like, but I had some like homies that was doing it, you know what I mean? And I was just kind of always the fly on the wall, you know, as you know, musically, not socially, because I'm a boisterous fuck. But like I was
Yeah,
always
we
kinda,
hear that in the music, you know what I mean?
Facts. The music ain't lying either.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? That's who I am. But yeah, it's just I was always kind of a fly on the wall in the studio, with the people I was coming up with, and then just one day was like, yo, let me hop in. Nobody really expected it, I don't think. And you know, obviously we all homies. They laughing at me. What do you mean you gonna rap? You know what I mean?
So you was 22. So
I
you
was like 22, yeah.
22.
Yeah.
So that's past the high school age. You know what I mean?
Past
so, like,
high school,
past high
past
school.
schooling,
Right.
even past like chilling with rappers and shit. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I was, you know, not like anybody, you know, shout out to them, but not nobody notable nowadays. You know what I mean? But people that was, you know, getting their feet wet and making music and shit like that. And I just hopped in, and like it was this type thing that it was like the first shit I ever did, we dropped and it did numbers. And I was like, yo, this rap shit is so easy. I was like, I'm up for, what are y'all struggling rappers doing? Like,
They making it hard for themselves out there?
Bro, first shit I ever put out, fuck, you know, back then, 2 Dope Boys, Master P,
Yeah,
Not Right.
yeah.
Like, all the
Yeah,
shit back
man.
then was like picking my shit up, and I was like, yo, damn, I must be the one. You know what I mean? And of course, reality hits. You know what I mean? You put out your next few things, and you're like, damn. You know, they were still showing love, like the blogs was still whatever. You know, that was that era where blogs was everything.
Right.
But it wasn't, you know, the numbers didn't quite hit the same. I'm like, okay, all right, let me work at this shit.
All right.
And then kind of just worked really hard since then. You know, made a name for myself, went through about fucking, I feel like 10 eras of New York City underground circuits.
Shit.
Cause you know, the way the shit look now is nothing like it did when I
Yeah.
started. You know what I mean? And even 7 years ago.
You know what? To pull on that thread a little bit more, like, because I always think about like how the underground, overground scene has changed over the years. The aesthetics, the sound. Since you've been through it, tell us, you know, what you've experienced as being part of that New York scene and how it's changed over the years, and you know, from things like Rock Marcy to like Zelda. Before that, it was like, you know, you had groups like Slaughterhouse and stuff like that. Like, talk about that shift and that change in the scene.
Yeah, I think when I first started, it was a lot more like kind of like soulful vibes.
Okay.
I think it was a lot more about like, I hate the word boom bap and I hate that I'm about to use it, but it was that kind of like boom bappy shit. You know what I mean? When I first started, like that's the kind of clicks I was with, and that's what was really clicking like in New York and on the internet and whatnot. You know, besides all the trap shit, that was a whole different world. But you know, it kind of went more aggressive, like you say, like the Slaughterhouse thing was everybody has to freestyle over every single 90s beat they ever heard in their whole life. You know what I mean? And that was cool because that's just a way to show how fucking ill you are at the end of the day. But it's like, you know, then with the new shit, like you said, like the Rock Marcy's and the Griseldas and all that shit, even though they're not New York City, but whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, now it's a whole different lane. Now it's super grimy, but it's also really creative. I feel like it's a lot more true. I feel like now people are more like true to themselves just because of the way that everything has fucking kind of like panned out. Like the internet is just so fucking big that it's like you can really find somebody anywhere that's gonna fuck with you. It wasn't always
fact.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
You really needed to
Right.
cater to, I keep bringing it up, but the blogs and shit
The
like
blogs.
that. You had to cater to that if you wanted them to fuck with you. And at that time, it was a lot of the kind of you know, more soulful, a little bit like kind of like stoner rappy type shit. You know what I mean? Like that's what was hitting, especially for the like lyrical ones. But there was just a lot, you know, there was a lot of errors, man. Like the people that when I first started, I was like, yo, that motherfucker's opening up for whoever. That motherfucker's opening up for Kiss. Yo, that motherfucker got it. And it's like, you know, as time goes on, you start to realize that there's just cycles to this shit. And, you know, the best thing you could do is just stay relevant for yourself and your own fan base.
Well, when you talk about the underground, there's a lot of differences, right? You know, even aesthetically, like you said. Listen, I came up. I seen from what you were saying, it sounded like we were around the same age. So we've been around. Immortal Technique wasn't fly like this, nigga. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been there. You know what I mean? Shout to Tech 9. You know what I mean? I ain't see him shot it like that. So you know, so that's a part of it when it comes to the over underground is that y'all show it a lot better than past eras, but also we if we gonna talk about the you know how things have gone from then to now, it's a large part of it is places like Chinatown Sound, places that you founded. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I mean, bro, me and G, my
Shout out
partner
to G.
Yeah, shout out to fucking G. We started this shit as fans. You know what I'm saying? We didn't start this shit as with no industry connections besides what we was already doing. You know, I knew a lot of rappers and different people, and so did he, because he was already a videographer in the scene. But we started this shit, not even really meaning to start this shit. We just fucking did it. And used our networks to kind of just build something dope. And then the network just kept growing, and now it's just this thing that it's like we don't got no control over this shit no more, honestly. Like, let me take that back. We have total 100% control over it, but we have no control over like the growth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like back then it was really a matter of like, you know, how we position shit. Our shit is positioned at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just this ill shit, man. It feels like, you know, it's been a little over 3 years and it still feels brand new, which is, I feel like, how you want anything to feel, you know, when you love it. You know what I mean? You want the honeymoon phase to last forever. You know what I mean? And yeah, and now it's just seeing the caliber of artists and the fan bases that these artists have. You know what I mean? Just compared to what we was doing at first, it's shit. Fucking work hard and some shit, and this shit could happen. Like, really. Like,
Right.
And I know that's so cliche, man, because I'm not one of these people that's like with the catchphrases of like success comes. Nah, none of that shit. Like fuck all that. But like for real, like this was just some shit that we started without an intent of making it this fucking big corporate bullshit.
Right.
And like we started out of love and fucking worked really hard at it. Knew the product we had was there. Shout out G and his camera work. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the heart of it. You know what I mean? It's G's camera work.
Shout out to G's, bro. Like I met G's through coaching Rome Streets, and every time I see G's, I tell him, yo, I know it's gonna be a good night whenever I see you. That's like my slogan for him. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I see him,
I wish I could say the same.
You with him a lot more than I
throw
am.
him in
You know what I'm
traffic.
saying? But like,
that's my brother.
Speaking on what Mase said about Chinatown, I think Chinatown Sound is such a vital platform for the culture, bro. To just have artists from all over the fucking nation pulling up and rapping in like the middle of New York street, rapping and pulling up in the middle of New York streets where you can hear New York traffic, New York sounds. You see the visuals of New York in the back. I just think that's so fucking awesome, bro. So congrats to you guys.
Thank you. You know, the first, we wanted to make sure that we got that across in even the title. The first like kind of month, I think it was just called Chinatown Freestyles. And then it just kind of like, I was like, yo, that doesn't even explain this shit. Like,
And it's not even just that, because we went to a couple of events at Chinatown Sound. We seen you perform, Rome Streets.
Hell of a performer, by the way.
Right.
Thank you.
China Streets, it was a dope night. Went up to the rooftop. It was immaculate, man. You know, so
yeah, that was crazy.
good vibes, good night. Let's get into this outerwear though, man. Let's get into this outerwear. I love this project, bro. My favorite joint is Flood the Avenue. Like, I see you working with the homie Retrospect on a couple joints too. I love Retrospect, bro.
Retro?
Like, he's talented, bro. Tell us about the album. How did you? I know you got it. This is the fifth in the series.
Yeah. So outerwear season was always some shit. You know, I do a lot of projects with one producer. Probably like 2/3 of my catalog.
Big catalog too.
Is
prolific.
Yeah. Bro, I counted just recently. I was like, yo, it's like 20 albums and like 8 EPs.
4 joints in like 1 year type shit. 5 joints.
Yeah, the last like 4 years has been like 4 years type shit. But nah, I have a lot of albums with one producer that was really like locked into that type of like system. But the outerwear shit was just some shit for me to just like, it doesn't sound like it because I think it's very like well structured, but it's almost like a compilation compilation. I don't know why I said it like that. But compilation, because it's like, it's really just songs, like ill songs that I picked for this project that were already done, that weren't necessarily for outerwear, the outerwear series. It's just the ones of the year since the last outerwear. Basically like you know, like one-off tracks that kind of we kind of formulated to put together and make like a good cohesive body of work and shit. I love doing the outerwears. I feel like it's like kind of like my most free work, where I feel the freest, you know what I mean? And I think the fan base, like my fan base at this point is like come to expect that of me. It's always gonna be gritty sounding, thus the outerwear theme, kind of winter theme, you know what I mean?
Gritty.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
shit.
the term outerwear, like what is that? What does that make?
I was just always somebody that had mad fucking jackets. Like, I got mad jackets.
I see you a polo head too.
Yeah,
Big
you know
polo
what I mean?
head.
From the low to the face to the whatever, you know what I mean?
Say that.
Like, low to the face is crazy.
Yo, you even catch it.
Sorry, we're not gonna hit you with that.
Nah.
Hey.
Feel free. Pause, feel free to hit me with it.
Welcome to the family, bro.
Hey, yo. Nah, listen,
So
that's
crazy
my
in
family
here.
too, goddammit. But
you
I
make
was-
it out to be like winter music,
Yeah,
right?
it's supposed to be winter music, you know what I'm saying? I was just always somebody that, you know, I like to get fly and shit like that. You know, it's not like, I wouldn't say it's like the main part of like my brand, but it's definitely like something that like I've always been into way before I rap, you know what I mean? Like high school, I always try to put shit together, you know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
and it was just this thing where I was like, yo, every season when it started to get a little cold outside, I was like, ooh, it's outerwear season.
It's that time.
Yeah, it's time to like break this shit out. Like, yo, for fat boys, it's like, at least for me, it's like, yo, like that's when I feel myself. You know what I mean?
Nah, talk about it. As a
Like when you
fellow
put
big
the show
nigga.
on, I bust out on my show. So it was like,
Bust out
yeah,
your show is
it was
crazy,
just
too.
always OD. Hey, yo, nah.
Nah, I'm
But,
gonna hit you one time, please.
Nah,
one time.
But yeah, fucking, I deserve it.
Now we gang. Now we
Now,
gang.
now you're part of the family, man.
But yeah, it's that outerwear season. It's something I always kind of said even before it was a series. It was just like, yo, we in the outerwear season right now. Like, yo, it's time to do bad things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you were saying before how you're not fucking with all this heat like the summer.
Oh my God, nah, I can't.
Oh, we're on the same
I can't.
page.
Yo, I can't do it.
It's brutal.
Like I would do anything. I would do anything to have enough money to not have to step out the house for the next 3.5 months. I would do anything.
Crazy.
And I know that's crazy because the summer's when everything's going on in the city.
Yeah.
The city's hot.
That's
I used to
fine.
love summer myself, yo. Obviously, you know what I mean? Everybody has off. All the bullshit's happening. The shorties are out. Whatever the fuck. But it's
Immaculate.
like, yeah, OD. And that's, that's still a great thing. You know what I mean?
But you feel it most natural during
bro.
outerwear season.
I'm too old and fat for this shit. son, God forbid I leave my sweat rag in the crib.
Shit, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. But I am at the same time. It's the
Balance.
juxtaposition. It's the balance.
What time of the year were you born? Like what month?
June 14th. I was literally a few
shit
days
just
ago.
passed.
Oh wow!
Happy belated,
Happy
bro.
birthday, man.
Facts.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah,
That's
I
what's
mean,
up.
yeah. Throw me some November weather. You know what I mean? Throw me some November weather with some July parties.
Yeah.
I
There
would-
we go.
Hating the heat, the outerwear. Is if y'all don't know, it's very New York, complete New York aesthetic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything if you know New York, you know everything about bro is completely New Yorked out. But I find it interesting because I've seen you mention in other places that people kind of downplay New York these days. You know what I mean? They act like it's not what it used to be. And also I've seen you, not even seen you, but I've heard you even in your lyrics kind of lament how it's a little different in New York. As a lifelong New Yorker, what are the changes and what can we do to kind of not just bring hip hop to the forefront, but bring New York culture back to the forefront?
Man, I mean, I think that's not in our hands, man. And it's like, there's a conversation I have within my own circles and shit too. Is like, yo, this city is just, I'm not the guy that's like, New York is dead. Because the people that say that are not New Yorkers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Those are people that moved here 15 years ago and they feel like they, 15
Minnesota
years ago.
vibes.
Right. But they think they passed transplantism
Right.
because they 15 in. But it's like, nah, like, I would never say New York is dead. But bro, this city has just become like a fucking, like, it's hard to live here, like more than ever. It's always been hard to live here, but you know what I mean? It's the lifestyle has changed. I feel like there's not as much shit popping. There's not as much excitement. There's not as much, I feel like industry has just got a hold of everything that was cool. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, not just music-wise. Yeah, not just music-wise, art-wise, scene-wise.
Yeah.
Bro, the Lower East Side used to be like,
Yo.
Fire, bro.
fire.
Fire.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, even now, the Bushwick is a new Lower East Side. Well,
Yeah.
it was, like we had to pivot from Lower because it was a little like, this is too, And then we went over here and now this shit is bullshit. And I was just like, where the fuck do people that want to do cool shit go? You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta
That's my
wait for
question.
specific events. It's not like
Yeah.
you can be like, oh, it's this. It's a Friday night. I feel like going out. I could go to that spot that I know is cool. Like, I feel like a lot of that has been eliminated. You know what I mean? Just because people see, it's just the internet too. It's like everybody sees the shit and they know exactly where to be at. And it's just like,
Yeah.
It's whack,
you
yeah.
should have known to come over here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
This actually brings me to a question that I had a follow-up question earlier, but we was doing the rounds. But you spoke about the underground scene and how the blogs, you used to want to try to impress the blogs and the bloggers and try to get on that way. You know what I mean? And so like whatever wave they was on, you try to like accommodate that to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But then things change because there's no more blogs, it's just streaming, you just put it out, and you have social media, you could try to, make an audience for yourself. What do you think is better actually? Because like the blogs there was a gatekeeping to it. You know what I mean? And all throughout the history of hip hop, there has been a level of gatekeeping from, radio stations, media, magazines, then the blogs, and all of that is kind of dead now. So I'm just wondering what your stance is on that. Did you like it better when it was like slightly gate kept, or do you like it better now when it's like?
that's a good
free
question.
flow?
I mean, I don't really know, honestly. Like, I mean, I do feel like going back to what I was saying about people feel like they could be true to themselves now because it's easier to build a fan base without motherfuckers that are gonna stand in your way.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you're right. Like the quality control has just like gone out the window. Like
Right.
even doing this Chinatown shit, it's like, yo, we'll be like, yo, this person can't possibly have a fan base. Like, no offense. Like, yo, nobody could listen to this. You click on their shit, it's fucking at least whatever, 6, 7, 800,000 views on every video.
Wow,
It's fucking, yo, it's just like, wow, like, and that's beautiful too, because I don't want to down nobody. Like they building their life off of this fucking success, and you know they doing it the way they want to, and it's like that's beautiful. Like that sentiment is beautiful, but it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like, yo, like the quality control is just none, and then you see artists that are so ill and they just like they can't even scratch the surface of like making the algorithm work for them, and it's like. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the same shit. It's the balance of everything, right? It's like there's pluses and minuses to the way shit was done and the way shit is going now. Same with the 90s, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like I know rappers that like I know would have blown in the 90s. Cause it don't matter what your fan base is now. Cause the people are just gonna hear what they can get in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? In the early 2000s, in the 80s, whatever. But it's like, yo, you could just have the raw talent and be brought to the forefront. Now, raw talent, unless you strike some weird fucking algorithmic bullshit, like it's not gonna happen for you, unfortunately. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it's plus and minuses to this whole shit. You know what I mean? People can stay in tune with what they want to hear through the network of shit that they like, but also it's like, there's nobody telling you, yo, you suck. You gotta go back to it.
Right.
You can't do this in public. Like, please don't do this in public. Like, there's nobody saying
looking at you, Yachty.
Two-prong question, Bub. Who inspired you? And when you look at the landscape of music now, like who today is kind of like giving you that same inspiration? Who you fuck with now and who you fuck with then, basically is what I'm asking.
Word. I mean, growing up, it was like, it's the cliche shit, but it's like Biggie. It's like, you know, Pun. Pun, I always was just like, yo, this fucking guy. It was funny you said Immortal Technique, bro. I fucking loved Immortal Technique, bro. When I was 14,
Dance with
bro,
the devil vibes.
I was like, yo, nobody said anything like this. Like, this is the crazy shit. But I was always the kid that was like, I always like was finding music by myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I obviously knew what was going hip to the mainstream shit, but like I always was also somebody that was like, yo, this I find ill. I don't know how the fuck I came across it, but I'm gonna find out every fucking song he has and listen to the shit out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was always that kid. Man? Yeah. So it's like, yo, back then it was like Pun, Big L, huge influence to me.
Sir.
Right.
Just even if you hear my voice don't sound like his at all, but like the way my like attack is with my like bars and shit, like I got a lot of that from L. Wu-Tang was like my solar system. Like, like there was nothing better than me than Wu-Tang growing up type shit. Ghostface specifically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to this day. And people now, I mean, I listen to a lot of different shit. You know what I mean? I don't just listen to, people expect me to just fucking listen to the lyrical, you know, aggressive rap. And I love that shit too. But if you look through my Spotify playlists and shit, people be like, what is it? So it's like, you know,
give me one of those.
Your perspective.
Yeah, I'm interested.
It makes sense.
Shit. Shit. Man, where do I even begin? That Mexican OT is one of my favorites right now.
Okay.
Salute. Streets is fucking with him.
Yeah.
Central C is one of my favorites right now.
Cinch.
Yeah, Cinch. You know, I love the drill shit. I love the aggressive drill shit. I also love which a lot of people don't expect from me. You know, but I also like, I've been listening to a lot of Boldy James recently. Like, Boldy, I mean, that's probably an obvious one, but it's like, yo, Boldy's shit, the way he put shit together is so like...
Crazy work ethic too.
Yeah, I feel like I'm late a little bit. I knew how ill he was. I always knew how ill he was, but like, I've just become like a super fan recently, and I'm like this motherfucker, like,
Boldy's
truth, bro. Like, to a level that a lot of people like aren't in that same type of pocket as him. Shit, yeah, a lot of that shit. There's so much shit I'm not thinking of right now.
I feel you.
Yeah, so many.
Let's get back to the drill shit, because I'm listening to Outerwear 5, you know what I mean? Listening through the album, getting near the end, you know what I mean? I'm getting a lot of, you know, that feeling, you know, that gritty, you know, classic New York.
Got it.
And then I get to Extremely Bloody Money. And I hear the classic piano loop from Blood Money. Shouts to CNN, Pona Nori.
Salute.
One of my favorite songs of all time, you know what I mean?
Facts.
And I hear that piano loop and I'm like, oh, where's this going? And then the drill beat comes in.
I even say that, oh, they gonna hate it when this beat drops.
Yeah, and I'm them. I'm not even gonna say I didn't. At first, it caught me off guard, but then the more that it went on, I was like, yo, this shit really goes. And knowing your sound, the sound that you're known for, what made you take that left turn on that song?
I mean, really, if you look through my discography, I got so much of that. I know, like, the shit that I drop videos for and whatnot is like, it tends to be the shit that I know my fan base is going to just latch onto immediately.
Right.
But, like, if you look through all my albums, except for the one producer ones, like I said, like, that's that producer style. But there's a lot of drill throughout my shit and a lot of trap music throughout my shit. I did a whole album called The Great Outdoors that was intentionally no like kind of classic beats. But yeah, with that Extremely Bloody Money, it was like I wanted to throw something on there that was gonna throw you off.
Yeah.
And you know, I like doing that in my shit, you know what I mean? And I felt like it kind of fit at the same time because of the Nori sample, of the CNN sample.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I just had to do some. I just like throwing that. I like throwing motherfuckers off.
Yeah,
I really
feel
do.
that.
I love that shit. Like, if you listen to the outro,
don't put you in the box, right?
Yeah, nah, you can't. You couldn't put me in a box till my casket dropped.
Right.
Facts.
You wanna let's talk about the artistry. You talk about, you know, throwing people off. You know, in rap, I'm sure you know, we all know, is extremely unique voices. Jada, Billy Dance, who people might compare you to, Pac, Big, like. Your voice is one of the more unique voices I've heard. One of the more unique voices I've heard in rap in years. You know what I mean? Is that something you knew from the beginning? Like, this is gonna be one of my A1, you know, weapons that I have. You know what I mean? Like, your voice is like one of the greatest things of your art.
Nah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, when I first started, if you listen to like my early shit, which might be hard to find now, I don't even fucking know, but my voice does sound kind of different. Like, I didn't have the same like raspiness that I do now. But yeah, hell yeah. My voice is a fucking weapon. I know that shit. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that goes for a lot of MCs we loved over the years. Is that like, you could say anything you want, but if your shit don't have no feel behind it, it's like that shit's not gonna land. You know what I mean? And I put a lot of pride into making my shit land. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers, like even rappers that be in the studio with me can't believe how I record. I record, bro, maximum 2 or 3 bars at a time before I have to punch. Because I'm so specific about how my voice sounds on each and every bar, each and every inflection of every word. Like, I could record a verse for 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it works for some, it doesn't work for others, but I've found if I'm in a studio where the engineer doesn't quite know how to punch as well, my shit don't come out as hard because I'm trying to do 8 bars at a time, which for some rappers it's easy, because if it would be easy for me if I wasn't screaming my fucking head off every time I wanted to rhyme words. But the way my shit is, it's like, yeah, it's I put a lot of focus into like how my shit like comes across. And yeah, hell yeah. I put a lot of focus on that. And yeah, I know my voice is powerful as shit. And I like to use that shit as an instrument in itself.
I actually I mean, to that point, I actually do think, because people talk a lot about, like, you know, how the game has, you know, degraded over time in terms of like the pen and the writing skills and lyricism, but also I think people stopped paying attention to voices. I think people stopped valuing like unique voices, just the tonality of the voice, and then, you know, just let anybody rap with any old voice. You know what I mean? Like, nah, for real.
It was so many corny voices we had to stop judging. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like, and then it got to the point where, all right, like, I'm not fucking with his voice, but at least he's nice.
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm not doing that, bro. I can't do it.
So bringing back that the value of a unique voice. That's something
Delivery,
that
like,
and delivery. That's definitely
important,
something
bro.
that is super important. You know, thank you for valuing that. You know what I mean? In what you do.
Word.
Along with
thank
the
y'all
voice,
for recognizing.
along with the voice, bro, like you are an exceptional beat picker, my guy. Like that is a talent in and of itself. People don't understand how hard it is to be able to like pick a great beat, and you did it for the entire project, bro. Like every beat complements your voice, complements your flow. Like, where does the sonical air come from? Are you like a music head, or you just
Hell
outside
yeah.
of like just rapping?
I'm a music head, bro. I really am. And I'm a picky fuck too. I think a lot of rappers, you know, even my friends, even people who might be doing better than me, you know what I mean? I think people kind of pick beats based on if they could rap on it. They say, yo, I got the rhythm for this joint, so I'm a bust this flow out on. But it's like, if the beat don't hit, if the instrumentation don't hit for me, it's like, I know some producers must hate me, bro, because it'll be producers I like a lot. I'm like, yo, send a pack. They're like, bet, yo, I can't wait to knock some shit out. Send a 10 beat pack, and I'm like, yo, I'm sorry. I just like, yo, I like your other work. Like, I swear, I'm not just like this guy that's like, let's work, and then like dot after that. Like, I'll never be that. Like, I really want to work with you, bro. But if it's not like touching me, you know what I mean? If it's not touching me, like I can't rock with it. You know what I'm
Gotta
saying?
hit the
It's
soul,
like,
man.
yeah. So it's like, and at this point, you know, I've been lucky enough that I have enough like, kind of like enough of a network that there's a lot of producers that want to work with me and do send me beats, so I can be that picky fuck that I really am. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Respect it.
yeah. And to all you, if any of y'all producers listening, like the ones that I'm talking about, I swear to God, I love y'all. Cause I would never say send a pack if I don't mean it. Like, I really wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but yeah, at the end of the day, I just gotta stay true to me. And it's like, if I'm gonna rap on some shit that I don't feel is right, I'm not gonna want to drop it. And then I would waste both of our time. So what's the fucking point?
Respect.
You know?
Is there just for my own personal, you know what I mean, mental note, is there, because I make beats, is there any,
I picked up on that.
is there anything, is there a particular sound or instrument that you gravitate to? You know what I mean? A piano,
I love piano
violin,
beats.
you know what I mean?
Piano and strings, I love.
Strings.
Like violin and piano beats, I love. I tend to like down tempo shit, but I also like up tempo, you know, depending on the sounds. What I really fucking hate, I'll tell you what I don't like. I hate producers. They think it fits me. I don't know why they send me rock sample beats.
Oh wow.
Like the
That's that shit I don't like.
Yo, I will never gravitate, and I get why they think that. It's because my voice is so boisterous.
Right.
Yeah, it's because but I like to do the switch off. Like because my voice is so boomy, I kind of like more minimally beats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because otherwise
Even
it's just
it
a
out.
clusterfuck, man. Like,
I can see that.
yeah, and so many producers send me those because they think that's what I'm gonna like. Because I have a big sound, so I must like big sounds. And it's like, nah, I like more like, I kind of fake like more like, you know, like vibey shit. The drums could be big. The drums could be huge, as big as you want to make them.
You know what I mean?
But like fucking the sample, I feel like gotta be kind of like in the cut a little bit for me personally.
Copy.
Yeah.
Copy.
Well, if we gonna get into production, you mentioned liking the one producer or preferring the one producer albums. Do you have one in the tuck or any in the tuck? Or if you want to shout out any producers and be like, I want to work with him on something. Do you have anything like
Shout
that?
out to
Yeah, I work with
Michelangelo.
Pharrell. Shout out who?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
Shout out.
Mike, bro. Mike, come on, man. Nah, Mike is my brother. Like, I fucking love Mike. He's a fucking nut. You know, I feel, you know, I know he has the mask and the kind of low demeanor on the internet. That man is a fucking nutcase. I love him. I fucking love him. But yeah, obviously another plate with Mike would be amazing. But I got an album with Wino Willie coming. I got an album with my man Jay Hart. If y'all don't know Jay Hart, man, incredible.
Okay.
We about 5 joints in on that.
Say that.
Dope.
Got just a million Lucy's that I'm gonna definitely like put together before the next outer with. Shit. I got a whole album with my man Chubbs produced by Gore-Tex.
Salute to Chubbs.
Yeah, salute Chubbs. Facts, fucking doing his thing right now.
Not
I love
Mace
that brother.
Right.
Not OVO
Not
Chubbs.
OVO Chubbs.
Not OVO Chubbs.
No, not Oliver 40 and Chubbs.
He's got a weird case. So not him.
Chubbs, Chubby the God. Chubby God, my man. Yeah, we got a whole album produced by the legendary Gore-Tex from Nonfiction.
That's the corner store
fire.
joint, right? Corner store carnivores.
Nah, that's an old joint.
Old joint. You got
We
something
got a
new.
new one, yeah, not come out yet. Yeah, not out yet. Yeah, shout out Gore too. Fucking classic. A million fucking things coming up.
What's your creative process like? Like, you have so many producers sending you beats. You have so many different projects that you're like sort of spinning like plates all going on at the same time. One, what's the process look like? And second, how do you decide what goes where?
Right.
Fucking chaos, man. Fucking chaos. If I've agreed to do an album with a producer, then whatever me and that producer make, I'm gonna keep for that.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just like one-offs and shit, like they know it's gonna come out because they know like how I put shit out. You know what I mean? Like I don't write constantly.
Okay.
I'm somebody that I write
You
when I
wait
get
for
in
the
the
beat?
studio. Well, yeah, I wait for the beat for sure, but
Okay.
I'm waiting like I don't tend to like write songs outside of the studio. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I will, but for the most part, I'm like getting in the studio, feeling that vibe, writing the shit right there. That's why sometimes, most of the time, a session is only one song for me. You know what I mean? But I feel like that, for me, it works because it just makes the session makes the song that much more meaningful. I'm also not the type that, I know a lot of rappers do this and that's their process, but I'm not the type that's going to come up with a hook, lay it down, then wait till next week to do the verses. Because that next week, I'm doing something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm somebody that if I won't even hop in the booth until the whole shit is written. Which, you know, works for some, doesn't work for others, but that's the only way I'll do it, man. Like I'm not the type to come up with a verse, go in and come out, be all sweaty and all right, now I gotta write I'm gonna write the whole shit. Especially the way I record, that shit takes a lot out of me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be in that booth for an hour if I have to knock out the recording process. But you know, it's definitely I feel like it makes my songs more meaningful to me at least.
Yeah, we feel that.
To record, to have the recording process you do, but be as prolific as you are is super impressive for the record. I gotta say that because the way you record your bars to the way you record your songs, but to still have the amount of material that you have, that's impressive.
Nah, thank you, bro. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nah, me and my man Brass Beard have been locked in for a long fucking time. His studio just closed. Been a big fucking hit, but don't matter. I'm still cooking. I'm still cooking every which way. But yeah, me and my man Brass Beard, shout out Brass, shout out my man Sal. He's been my engineer for like 10 years. The work ethic with me and him, it's just like, I could be in the booth and be like, yo, and he's like, all right. Yo, for real, like I don't gotta say shit. Like
not even a word.
Nothing, bro. Like I'll be like, yo, remember the one we did and then there was that thing that with the yep, okay. And he's so low key too, he won't be like, oh yeah. He'll be like, all right. And I know he got it. And he always got it. I'm like, I don't know how you did that, but word. Like, yeah, that means
That's Kobe and Shaq right
there. Yeah, nah, dead ass.
That's fire.
Fucking shout out Sal, man.
That's fire.
I know we running low on time, but I gotta know. The dirtiness, the sinisterness, the griminess, the hunger in the music. Not to be your therapist and nothing like that, but where's that coming from, bro?
I've always liked aggressive music, man. Like I think that's what it comes down to. Is I've always been somebody that like, I like music that sound like that. You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm in a low mood, like I could bring myself to that place when I'm making the music, because that's what I love. You know what I mean? Even the ones I just mentioned, my favorites being Big L, Ghostface, and Big. Like, them motherfuckers, you know what I mean?
Legends.
It's not the same type of yelling I'm doing, but them motherfuckers is trying to eat your head off with
big voices.
Everything. Big voices, big energy, big fucking exasperation, big sweat particles. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like for real, like
Sweating like me on that gas station.
Yo, bro, Liddy.
is this some fire weed? You said it was an inside joke. This some fire
man.
weed.
Yeah, man. That shit had him slumped, bro.
Yeah.
That shit had him slumped.
He passed me
It'll
some
do
good
that.
weed. You know what? Deanie and I, that night after, the event, Deanie was passing around, the blunt, and
Is that
it got over to me. And because I'm not a big smoker, but when I'm around Deanie, I usually take like one pull and then pass it off. Anyway, the rotation was going. It came around to me. I took one pull. I was slumped for like an hour, bro.
Yeah, it'll do that,
Bro,
man.
nigga was higher than Mike Tyson's pigeons, bro. So funny.
Nah, yo, I tell people this all the time because I rap, but I'm also like I'm also an outside guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm people know me in different things besides rap. Put it that way. But like, fucking, I always tell people, man. Like, I've seen people on every fucking drug. I've seen people coke the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people fucking smoke dust. I've seen people fucking
real New York shit
sniff
right there.
dope. I've seen people fucking pop any fucking
Woolies.
pill that came in front of their face. I've never seen somebody so fucked up than weed. And it's the shit that everybody does, bro. The
That's
shit that
funny.
you immediately, you like, okay, maybe sniffing dope.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, like, yo, the thing that you always be like, yo, that motherfucker high as shit. Like, that's always weed.
Yeah,
like,
so it's
yo,
weird.
I've seen people affected by weed in ways that, like, yo, weed'll get you higher than any drug.
Right.
Yo,
I always
bro.
tell people this,
Kicking
bro. It's
facts
like,
right
yo,
now.
nah, dead ass, because it's like, bro, alcohol the same thing, but you got to go way over the edge with alcohol to be like stumbling and fucking doing somersaults
That
by
was me.
yourself in your room. Like, that's it. Like, that shit takes that's like an extreme dose. You could take 2 hits of weed and be on a fucking
Yeah, if it's the
motherfucker
right or
high,
the wrong
bro.
weed, depending on how you look at it.
yeah.
That's what I'm
The
smoking
right
tonight,
and the wrong,
Sin,
right.
so be careful. You
But yeah, I
understand?
always tell people that. So I don't blame you for getting too high, though. It happens to the best of us.
You said angel dust.
Yo.
Shit.
Yeah, man.
Matter of fact,
The
you know
dip,
what?
bro. The little dip.
Here's a
Oh,
hot take.
man.
Bring angel dust back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bring the
That's
dust
a hot
back,
take.
bro.
Bring angel dust back, bro. I think the music was better when angel dust was
Bring the
around.
wet
Ah,
back.
dead ass.
Yeah, man.
Ew,
Hey.
Yo,
we get
yo.
canceled for
Yeah,
It's the wet.
They call it the wet back in the
Yeah,
day.
but when you put wet back,
Okay.
Come on, my guy.
Relax,
Little
bro.
negative. All right. A little negativity.
Like-
My apologies.
All right, man.
MAGA viewership just
Yeah.
somebody doing audio searches all throughout the internet.
shit.
He said wet back.
they talking that shit on the rap roundtable.
I don't even like that rap stuff, man. These guys got it.
Bro, that's crazy.
I was gonna say Mario Lopez gonna come for us, but he might not mind.
He might not.
He's upset.
man.
George Lopez will be here next week.
Sheesh.
Oh man.
Oh man,
got
where
the
where has
biggest
this interview ended up, man? All right, let's bring it back around. We're gonna wrap up in a second because we gotta get out of here. But I definitely gotta ask you. You from Brooklyn, right? Legendary Brooklyn MCs, since the beginning of time. Give me your top 3 from Brooklyn. Personal top 3. Don't
Dead or
even.
Alive?
Dead or Alive.
Excluding yourself.
Excuse myself.
DOA.
I was about to die line this whole shit. Nah, Big for sure. Shit. I'm gonna put Buster in there too.
Ooh, okay.
Fucking,
Talk
you know,
that
like you said, Blockbuster.
It's a
maybe.
little shaky.
You know what I'm saying?
Blockbuster was shaky.
But
Blockbuster
like
was shaky.
the classic.
But I see it because
There
the
you go.
voice and the delivery.
That was a big influence on me when I was younger. Like when I was like 8, 9 years old, you couldn't tell me that there was some iller shit than Buster. Buster and Wu-Tang couldn't tell me.
That's a fact.
I mean,
But,
the coming, Disaster
Style
Strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dangerous.
come on,
All
man.
that.
Disaster,
Yeah.
When Disaster
Strikes
Strikes.
was crazy.
And then ELE, bro. Genesis,
that's
crazy.
Had a run.
That's a big
That's a crazy
big run right there.
Yeah. Third, shit. You gonna make me draw a blank on my favorite topic ever.
Shit.
Good thing Jav in
We
here.
got Kane. We got Def.
Nigga be
Most
like,
Def. We
no
got
Hov?
shit,
Hov. I'm sorry, Hov. Come on, man.
He's so famous, it's hard to remember.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo, I
he's
always
like
say this.
Different
from the world
territory.
and
This
shit.
is I like y'all do the hot takes. This is a hot take. Hov is the most overrated, underrated rapper of all time.
Wow.
wow.
Hov
deep.
is the
Tell us-
most underrated
Hold on,
rapper
I
of all
need
time.
you to expand on that.
Now he-
Pause.
He's the most overrated as far as like, oh, he's the one that made business work for him. He's the one that like became like the mogul.
I see. Yeah, I
like
see what you're
it's
saying.
like, you know what I mean? Like that's all there. That's why you don't even think of Hov when you saying like, yo, best Brooklyn rapper. At least I should have, but I didn't. But the most underrated because you fucking nobody, bro. People that know Jay-Z, even rap fans, like fucking like you go back in his catalog and you just forget how much he was talking. Like,
Yeah.
like the depth of his
That's a fact.
fucking the depth of his lyricism. Like you just
I see what you're
we
saying.
don't. I feel like in this room we don't, but like people do. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like,
I feel you.
and it's like, yo, like underrated as far as far as the music, bro. Because you could talk about the hits, you know what I mean, in the first like 5 albums. You could talk about the hits, but you delve deep in those albums, it's just like classic after classic after classic after classic that you probably didn't hear for 10 years. And it's just
Yeah.
most underrated rapper of all time. Hell yeah.
I see what you're saying, man.
And what's the what is the quintessential Bub Styles song and or verse? Anybody that's here that's seeing you for the first time, what we sending them right to?
Shit,
Like where you like,
shit,
damn, I
shit.
spit crazy on that motherfucker.
Shit,
Like
there's a lot of those. Shit. Fuck. Shit.
Dini mentioned one of his faves. What was off the new joint?
Flood the Avenue.
Flood the Ave.
I
Also-
love that joint, but that's not. You know what I mean? That's a little different from
You
me.
had
a little
you
bit.
had a crazy verse on Def Soldier's album. I think the song was "Figure It Out."
Oh,
A while
no,
back. That was my shit.
Was it Figured Out?
Figure It Out.
That's the name of it, right? Figure It Out.
Yeah, Figure It Out.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
With Street of G,
Hell yeah. Shout out Streeter. Shout out Def.
homies,
Those are my
the
guys.
homies, man.
Hell yeah.
real niggas,
Yeah,
yeah.
thank you for that. Yeah, I love that verse too, but I wouldn't put that as like. But shit, I don't even fucking go listen to Flood the Avenue.
There we go.
Yeah.
Go listen to Flood the Avenue.
Go
Fire,
listen to Flood the
bro.
Avenue.
Cause the verses is
That was my shit,
fire.
too.
It's
Beats
not necessarily
fire.
my most like eat your face off type like fucking like lyrical like attack verses, but the whole shit is a fucking vibe. It's like an aggressive, silly, goofy in the best way, fucking aggressive vibe.
Say that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanna bring back goofy, not meaning whack.
Right.
We
Cause-
don't
Yeah,
take yourself
just
as
sense
serious.
of humor.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Redman
it just
type
means
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right,
Red
right.
Man.
Like yo, I'll say that like my shit. Like I have like a goofy presence sometimes, and I don't mean that like I'm a goof. Never,
Got you.
you could
Yeah.
never goof me. But I like have this like not so serious, not
Jovial.
so yeah.
Jovial,
Keep it light.
yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
jovial vibe to me. Keep this shit light.
Pun
You know what I
had
mean?
that too.
Pretend like you
Pun
laughed
was
as a
funny
child.
motherfucker. Yeah, you know what I
Even if
mean?
you didn't, right?
It's a sense of humor.
That's
Yeah.
my main message to fucking. That's what I want to
You
get
can
across.
be
in
as
my
hard as
music
you want to be,
overall.
pause, but like, you know what I mean? You got to
That's
laugh
dope.
every once in a while.
Lighten up.
Please.
Exactly.
You know what
Lighten
I
the
mean?
fuck up, man. Lighten the fuck up. All of our favorites were funny
All of them,
Facts.
bro.
at times. All of our
some
favorites
way
were
or
funny.
another.
at
Big was
times.
the funniest,
Big,
hilarious.
Pun, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Even
man.
the skits on Raekwon, shit, like everything.
come on.
Everything, man.
Biters.
Come on.
All that. Those were
Yeah, yeah.
vibes, man.
Yeah, hell
But yeah, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna wrap this up. Before we do that, first tell us what you got coming up in the near future. What can they look out for? And
Yeah,
tell everybody where they can find you at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bub Styles on everything. BUBSTYLES. Please don't fucking tag me with a Z. I'll lose my goddamn mind. The worst part is motherfuckers will go tag Bub Styles the way my shit is spelled, and then in the caption go Bub Styles with a Z.
Yo.
What? Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm not a.
That's a pet
I'm
peeve.
not
He gonna
a.
block you for
oh
that
my
shit.
god,
Don't
that's
do
such a
it.
pet. I'm not a 1982 graffiti writer. You know what I mean? As much as I might look like
Not that
one.
there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, not there's anything wrong with that. There's anything wrong with it. But yeah, Bub Styles on everything. I got a lot of shit coming. Like I mentioned, album with Wino Willie, album with Chubbs, produced by Gore-Tex, album by my man Jay Hart. Chinatown Sound, fucking just endless amounts of really fucking crazy artists that we've shot and that we're about to shoot. Ones that you've heard of, ones that you haven't, depending on, you know, who you are and what you like. More different types of segments. A lot of collaborations in the works. I won't say any, you know, just to not jinx it, but a lot of like collaborations with some really dope companies coming up with Chinatown Sound. That's gonna be really dope. Shit, just endless. Please, if you smell my cologne on your mother's pillow, don't get mad at me. For the love of God, bring angel dust and goofiness back.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah, man. And you might catch us there at your mother's house tomorrow.
You know what I mean?
You dig?
Because she kind of cute like that. All right, man. We're going to wrap this up.
Yes, sir.
Bub Styles, thank you for coming
It's
out,
been a
man.
pleasure,
Much
my brother.
appreciated.
One of the
Blast.
realest
It was a
out
blast,
here.
for real.
You know what
Had
I
a great
mean?
time.
Check them out everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. YouTube, Chinatown Sounds, everywhere. Outerwear, Volume 5, Season 5, sorry. Outerwear Season 5 out right now. Go run that up.
Tap
You know what I mean?
in.
We're going to tag it in the description
Yes, sir.
of this episode. And Dini, take us home once again.
You already know what the vibes is, man. Shout out to our special guest, Bub Styles, for gracing us with his presence and that grittiness.
No Z,
You already know what it
motherfucker.
is. Shout out to Jarvie. Shout out to Sincere. Shout out to Macito. Walt the Great in the cut. I'm Dean the Balance with our powers combined, man. It's the Rap Roundtable. You dig? We out of here. Ow!
Branding and all that.
The Rap Roundtable.